Hey, there is no stream. What, you thought when I said that I was gonna stream that I was actually gonna stream? Does anyone actually believe that? Anyone really think I stream? I don't stream. I just AI generate the whole thing. So that's about the end of that joke. I don't really know where to go with that. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be completely real with you. I think like there's like a weight of duty on my shoulders to like finish what I started and react to part 3 of the video. I have like an angel and a devil on 2 shoulders, right? And the angel is just like, hey, just do the job, man. Finish it. And the devil's just like, bro, fuck this shit. Start and end the stream. That way you met the quota and you could just go do something else. I'm gonna be real with you. I think this part of the stream is probably gonna be like the most boring part of the stream, of the reaction streams in general, or commentary streams to the video. Because like, there's 2 major sections in there that I'm taking a conscious choice to abstain of detailing any further. And the rest of the video I don't really remember. I don't remember too much of it. I've kind of moved on already, and I'm happy to say that. Because I've been spending some time with the next video, and I've been actually asking myself some very interesting questions, as a sign of the development that I underwent when I made this piece of shit video essay. Not that the next video is going to be a video essay. If all goes well, it'll be a proper game review, and I think it'll do a way better job at capturing the overall product than I usually would. I've also been pulling off an all-nighter, so I'm a little bit on the zoos. I'm a little bit on the Z's. I kind of want to go to bed. One part of me wants to go to bed. Other part of me wants to play Necess or Escape from Duckov. But for the most part, I've shut off all my lights, to tell you the truth. So, heck yeah. Let's do an incursion. I'm not maybe, but you know what? Today I'm gonna listen to the angel on my shoulders. And I'm gonna fuck. I kind of want to do an incursion. Nah, I'm gonna listen to the angel on my shoulder, man. And the angel on my shoulder says, finish what you started. Go watch part 3, react to it, end it, and next stream we begin something new. So, you'll have to excuse me while I try and remember where did I last leave off here. Because I kind of don't remember what I put in part 3, so this is going to be interesting. I think it's 125 mark. And the second part being my criticism. But you know, now, after all my research, I reject... It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. So this is the point of the video where I'm getting over that internal conflict of mine. You know, I've stated it so many times, is that the entire process of making this video, there was an internal conflict. One part of me wants to be fair to the game, other part of me wants to be fair towards my experience of the game. This part of the video, I am rejecting the notion that there is objectivity. I'm just like, this is my experience, and if you ought to disagree with it, fuck you. You, the one that's watching the stream. Fuck you. Well, specifically, fuck you, Durpins. But also, fuck you, everyone else. Fuck. Okay. It's coming back to me, man. Fuck. We're going down like this. Okay. I had like a train of thought. It just got deleted from my head. Is the next Kuva video in progress? Somebody banned that guy for saying that word. Okay. Anyway, moving on. This notion altogether. I reject this notion altogether. I reject the conflict. I reject that internal conflict. I'm right. I gave this game a fair chance, and this was my experience with it. Agree or disagree, it is what it is, and here it is in a bowl that I handcrafted. It's a pile of mess, and that's just what it is. Again, the train of thought got deleted from my head. Fuck. Right.
I'm damn right. And I will prove it too. I could of course sit here, explain the thousands of problems.
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh.
The game, explain
We're
what I
not getting
found,
into
what
it.
I love.
Fuck. Look at what I made myself do. Fuck. Fuck. People are sleeping in the other room. I cannot scream. I can't. Okay. So sometimes I hear about this, right? Where somebody finds like a message of me talking to someone or saying something and they harass him. Don't do that. Don't do that. I hate seeing it regardless of the point. Even if I personally have trouble with the person or I don't dislike or I don't like the person, I see it all. I see it when other people do it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So if you manage to put two and two together, don't go after anyone here. But there was like a completely different point that I was making here, and it's... The fuck is that? What porn tag is this section of the video called? Soup watched 3 consecutive streams and sparked a watch streak. What does it want me to do? Do you want me to like ban you for watching the stream? What is this? Why is this like a... Is this like a new thing? Okay. What porn tag is this section of the video called? It's called 3 consecutive streams, man. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Anyway, all the VIP. No, you didn't redeem. Okay. Fuck. That's right. I remember. I don't read the chat. That's right. It's coming back to me. I'm remembering what I'm doing now. The dementia's slowly going away. I'm remembering how I want to handle this. So okay. The chat. You can see the message here. I'm sure some of you that are more astute or try to find it, you might actually find this message. Don't harass this person. This was part of another point that I had in that the game is not as random as it tries to be. So this is a test where I tested the drop rate of various boss trophies from the general boss specifically. And the drop rate that I had by going back in the footage and marking down every single one was 2 of the General Dream, 9 of the Nightmare End, and 7 of the Safety Slumber. So that is the 3 boss trophies with the respective drop rates. One of the people who just for the sake of speaking has like a mentorship role, a mentor role, believed that I'm just getting unlucky and that the following, like several people in that server as well, thought that I was just getting unlucky. I then put on the lab coat and artistically, for a prolonged period of time, redid that test on a new save on a fresh file that I also grew. I started a whole new file just to do the test all over again, and I don't have it on hand, but the chance was like... But the dice roll was also pretty similar to this. So a second independent test resulted with similar results. So Nightmare End and Safety Slumber had similar drop chances, but the General Dream was also a really low drop chance. And I also had a theory that it might not be based off of the drop, that it might not be chance based as much as it is circumstance based. And I had reason to think that, but I didn't proceed with it. I didn't proceed with the test for it because that's one of the many parts of the video that got deleted. This is one of them. You remember seeing the deleted script channel, right? Sorry, the deleted script document. So the entire purpose of keeping the script around when I delete it, when I quote unquote delete it, is to possibly recycle it in future script creation. And by future script creation, I mean quite legitimately, like within the realm of that video. So that document didn't actually involve everything. The deleted script document, that was just the deleted script that I had a chance of recycling. I don't have the actual number, but it is definitely of total script. I mean, I don't have the actual number of total script, but it is way higher for sure than what was revealed, I guess. I'll read the chat for a moment before I lose it, because it's slowly coming back to me as I read this. It's slowly coming back to me. What does the Powerpuff Girls image with a rope on top of it mean? The rope, those are two different things, if you can believe it. The Powerpuff Girls, we're not getting into it, man. We just can't, okay? We gotta just get over it. I deleted that part of the video. It's gone. It's in the ashes. I know why. I'll never get into it. Something at the back of my head is telling me to do it, but I'm not gonna do it. All right, moving on.
Because I've already said enough. I hate.
Yes! Say it with your heart!
Bowser,
With your heart!
again, boys.
I fucking hate this game!
My chair broke. My chair broke.
Hello everyone, Famous Game Reviewer here, back at it again with another filler video that's taking a little bit longer than 2 weeks, which is the time period I set out to make this video in. You're probably wondering, where is this magic ass school bus going now? Usually I have a policy on my channel that I would exclusively talk about or do things that I like doing, if you can believe it. This video is the first time I go against that policy, ever since its creation, and in the wise words of a person called Clown That Eats Garbage, who eventually died from eating garbage. If you're gonna fuck up, and you know it's a fuck up, then you better fuck up so damn hard till you can't unfuck the up without fucking it down. That way, any and all lessons that can be learned will be as clear as day. After a recent revelation about the game that
such an elaborate point. Holy shit. It draws into itself so well. Like it's did I make the right choice by rejecting that notion of like, hey, what should I choose? Should I choose to be more fair towards the game, or should I choose to be fair towards my experience? I chose to be fair towards my experience, which means that if I made mistakes in interpreting the artistic experience or the intended experience that developers had, that's just that. I made the mistake and I'm gonna tell it as I see it. So if something I said is just not accurate in that regard, that's just that. That's just that. And it's not like I went into this trying to hate it. I was biased in favor of it. I wanted to like this. So fuck it. Fuck it, man. We're rejecting this internal conflict completely. I'm damn right. If I say some lies, yeah, I lied. I'll do it again. Because you know what? No matter how many times I put on a lab coat with this game, I don't seem to be 100% accurate every time. It just doesn't happen. Now, some people are asleep in the other room. So we're going to introduce a little segment I like to call Inner Peace. An inner peace here is going to happen at every time I see the face of this man. Okay? I love him. I love him. It's just like, you know, the sound of the ASMR, it doesn't really do it for me. But when I see his face and those beautiful scrumptious feet, what can I say, man? The devil on my shoulder goes away. You know, no, they don't. The devil on my shoulder and the angel on my other shoulder shake hands, and they both just sit down on my shoulder as we watch the sunset happen. It's a beautiful day. I love my life. I love it. It's beautiful. You wish to be tickled by him? I do, man. I do. All right, moving forward. Chosen not to detail because not only will this video triple in length, we're not getting inner peace, but I will also lose my mind in the process of explaining the song. Deleted script. It's over. Remind yourself. Where is it?
After
Inner
a
peace.
recent revelation.
It's gone. No one. It's over. It's completely out the window. Out the window completely. Inner peace.
About the
Inner peace. Look at his face, man. Wow.
game that I've chosen
Inner
not to
peace.
detail because not only
he is my spirit, and he would be my spirit animal. He would be. In another world, this guy would be the one, man. I love him so much. Why is he threatening to throw the thing at him? Oh man, he absolutely 100% is. I love him. This is gonna be a beautiful stream. I'm tired. I kind of want to go to bed, but this is great. I'm having fun here.
only will this video triple in length, but I will also lose my mind in the process of
We're not
explaining
gonna
it.
get into
I've
that.
decided, instead of showing any of that, to fully give in to the thought process.
Yes.
You see, Darkest Dungeon 2 is not a sequel or a good game, and frankly, a bit of a scam. And in all of my research about the game on YouTube, I found that there was an extreme lack.
So this is something that I felt like was pretty misrepresented with Darkest Dungeon 2. There's a lot of videos trying to give the game a review, trying to, you know, sum up the experience, but there isn't much in regards to, you know, the fan of a predecessor going into the second game when it comes onto YouTube. But if you went to that in the Steam reviews, that's such like a common presentation, right? It's legitimately like, what was it, like every fifth review said that this game is not Darkest Dungeon 2. That was insane. That is an insane rating. You know, it's not to mention like, fuck, what was it again? Like the average review has like 1 or 2 mentions of a detail somewhere within the game or its interior of the game or the exterior of the game. So for most reviews, right? Because most reviews don't say more than one thing at a time for the game. For there to be like a 1 in 5 thing, like across all reviews, there's a 20% chance. There's a 20% chance you would see someone say that this game is not Darkest Dungeon 1. How is that like not such a commonly put out opinion? It just was astounding to me. It was such a unique thing. And it felt like it needed presentation. And this is the part of the video where I accept that to present that opinion, I have to be willing to be a villain. Because I know that this is not like a nice thing, right? And I know that every time I try to execute it in a nice way, because again, the whole video did have that internal conflict in it, I failed. I simply didn't have the skill to do it. Just wasn't good enough at making video essays. What can I say? Every single one I made went into the trash. None of them saw the light of day. Even like the longing video, how many times did that get deleted? This is like the only one to go out the door. I wasn't good enough to do it the nice way. But I at least did it, which is better than not doing it at all. And this video, and in this part, I think the next point is me saying like, that's it, man. I'm the Grinch in Christmas. I know it's not good. I know I'm being like a little, you know, on the down here, but this is a point that isn't said, period. This isn't said, period. I watched a lot of videos. This is not a point that is said. Is that this game, inner peace.
Lack of criticism about it, and so have chosen.
Yeah. What do you want to do? You want to just fuck off and make a video that you like, or do you want to, you know, do you want to tell an actually good point at the end of the day? I wasn't really that good at it, but I did it.
That for the first time, instead of critiquing it and moving on with my life, that I will instead opt into giving this matter my all, to become the ultimate symbol of anger, a deity of hatred, a paragon of spite, a perfect misrepresentation to any and all of those who got scammed by the terrible labeling of this game. And I will do that using a degree of objectivity.
Another part of this part 3 part of the video is that it was actually going to be an attempt initially to capture the sentiment of like, why do developers name a game a sequel when it is not? Why does that happen? How does that artistically or creatively come to happen in the head of the developer? Why is it that when they make a severely different product that they sometimes name it 2? That's deleted script. It's gone. It's not there anymore. I only cover Darkest Dungeon 2 in this video.
So unparalleled in autism that most of you are probably gonna skip through this section of the video if you're even still watching.
A family member who knows about the YouTube stuff kept nagging me about making such a long video, and he kept saying no one's gonna watch it. The thing is, people do watch these long videos. It's not like there's no audience for them. There is an audience. It's just that for my channel, it was such a extremely different thing. And I knew that in my heart, and I knew like if this is all a mistake, all I can say is I genuinely had like a philosophically healthy way of getting into it. Genuinely. From the start to the end, I was doing a really good attempt at all of this. And I definitely made mistakes. I'm not, I think it's only right to admit that because after all, I want to do a better job. And that's just not going to happen if I'm not willing to admit that I can be a fool sometimes, especially on like the times where I roll like a nat 1, where it's just like I make a really simple mistake. I make a really stupid mistake in a really stupid way. What is this sentiment? I don't remember where I heard it. I don't remember if I made it up. But I heard it for a long, long time ago. And it's something that's stuck in my soul rather than in my head, really. It's that to be a master at something, to be a master, you have to first be willing to be a fool. You have to be willing to make a mistake. If you never admit the mistake, you don't really grow. Maybe you admit it in your soul, maybe you admit it in your brain, but if you don't admit it out loud, people are not going to see you smarter. And you too. There is something like a little strangely spiritual about it. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know if that's the wrong word. Personally, I'm not that religious, but I do believe in like a deeper meaning in things. Whether you appreciate something more selfish or more, what's the opposite of selfish? It's like a rich people word. What was it again? Altruistic. Altruistic. Or if you believe in something altruistic, more altruistic, it would be just a lot more ideal to be honest about it. I think it would surround yourself with the right people. It would assist in so many various external ways. Did Sun Tzu say that? No. Sun Tzu says some really stupid. Sorry, not really stupid, but like he has a very old Chinese man way pattern of words. I don't know. It only makes sense if you. I don't know. It only makes sense if you read it. Okay, moving on. Hold on. So we got some interesting comments here. Just deceive your enemy, lol. Well, back then, the information wasn't as easy as to obtain as it is today. So deception was fucking comedically powerful. Honestly, the worst point of any long essay form video is making it boring or repetitive. The video is genuinely entertaining even if you repeat points a bit too many times or don't get a point perfectly across. So this is a part of a more complicated discussion to be had, is like when it comes to these sorts of essay videos, there's like, when you make a video in general, really, there's like two paths to walk, and they kind of curve into each other as much as you want them to. And it is the path of information, just being a generally information-rich video, just like, something that's constructive, and then something that's, and then an entertainment video. So something that is more focused on recreation. Is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word, but something that's more recreational. And for me, I started off by going full to the entertainment path, but I'm kind of curving around into like the informational end of things. I want to make videos that enrich people. I want to make videos that make sense, that contain actually healthy information in there. And, if you're one of the 1% of people that like completely break down the video and try to actually like, double check, fact check things, I want there to be something for you too, because those are people that are like definitely autistic, but definitely are going to create like a nuclear engine in their car or something ridiculous like that. Those are the people that like drive the world forward in some insane way, even if it is just like the people around them. So I want there to be I want to make videos that enrich, even if it is, mostly entertainment. I want there to be something to be taken away. Maybe not necessarily some sort of like life advice. I don't think I will like walk that path fully ever, but rather something that's like, hey, you want a good game? This is what it is. This is how it is. This is what I felt about it based on my taste of games. What part of me? Oh, fuck. Another Kuva mention. Okay, no, I'm over for it.
Welcome to the nerdy part of the video. Things are gonna get very serious and boring from here.
This part got rewritten too many times because I was trying to balance this entertainment versus informational part. Initially, it was actually just gonna be purely informational. Purely, completely. Now it's still almost like exclusively informational, but I just take shortcuts at times, and you will see that very clearly at various points. Is that I'm just like, you know what? Rather than just making this point, I'm just gonna admit, man, I really walked in here out of hatred, and I'm just gonna move forward now.
Or at the very least, to the highest limits that the medication will allow. Here's my last attempt at recording this section.
Yeah, I'm glad I cut that one out.
Would you believe me if I said that was the second best take I had of this section of the video? Anyway, you see, I think there's actually a couple nice lessons to be learned from what happened with this game.
On release, it had 25. So this was another thing that got cut from the video, is my own perspective on reviews on Steam. If a game is like overwhelmingly positive, then that means that it tends to be one of the best games of that genre, or like generally speaking, a formula or an idea that was very much well executed. And unless you yourself don't like the genre or something much more fundamental about the game itself, then it's the type of game that you can't really go wrong buying. And then there's very positive, which means that assuming that it's not a mostly positive rate, assuming that it's not overwhelmingly positive, but simply it doesn't have enough quantity of reviews to meet the threshold where it can then obtain an overwhelming. That means that it is generally speaking like a slightly flawed formula or an idea that was nicely executed, but leaves a little, just a tiny bit, you know. It's the type of game like if someone made a video about it, someone that's like trying to be fair would say like one criticism, that's it, and they would just end the video. The rest of the video would just be like love about the game and how cool it is and explaining it. Mostly positive, I think, is like when a game is bad. When a game is mostly positive, that's when it's like, this is kind of a shit game, but like, sorry, no. Let me rephrase it. Sorry, no, I don't think that's accurate. When a game is mostly positive, it's like, hey, I like what they're going for, I like what they're shooting for, I like the idea, but I don't think it's worth the price that they're quite asking for. Or like it's generally speaking like a flawed experience, or something that's not well executed to the best interest of the artistic vision and or entertainment, that formula that they were going for. And then there's mixed is bad, and below that I don't really buy those games ever. Why does that toilet? Look, man, it got cut out of the video for a reason. Best not to ask any questions. Wasn't that review bomb after Epic Games bought rights for exclusivity? So that is one of the elements, but like you can't post reviews until the game is released or like available in some sort of fashion. So no, that was not that was not negative reviews because of the exclusivity thing. That happened way before May 1st of 2023. May 1st of 2023 was the date of release of the game on Steam. Sorry, release or early access? If I can remember. No, it was release. It was released, right? The exclusivity deal was for early access. So once early access ended, it came out on Steam. Leaves a tiny bit of a detergent aftertaste. Yeah.
And I'll go over them eventually.
I go over most of them. I didn't, like, if you think about it correctly, I didn't go over all of them, excuse me. It got cut.
But first, let me explain what's about to happen. Similarly to the game.
Because I put in this, like, what is going to happen now, because I think, like, the spirit of the video was not well explained up to this point. That this entire idea of internal conflict, like, it's just not well explained at all. At all. I don't think I made that clear of the video at all. So here's a part of me who's just like, okay, here's what's happening with this section.
Chaos that typically ensues when the teacher forgets the special ed class door open. I may have hyperfixated for a couple of weeks and read 3,000 reviews on Steam for Darkest Dungeon 2. I'm not obsessed. I can quit at any time.
Is this the older version? I think it is like a slightly older version. Because there was like, I remember there was 3 versions of the document. So there was the one that was just made strictly for me. to read and understand. So a lot of it was just like a mess, and this entire like bit of explanations up here, that wasn't there. Because why would I need to explain it to people? It only needed to make sense to me. But then I cleaned it up. I made it look a lot easier. I made it clear, like, hey, when was this counted? When was that counted? Along with like various observations I've seen based off of like common opinions, common experiences people had that made them, make this criticism about the game. And, like the most popular one by far was that people mentioning that this game is unlike the first game. And 76% of that was from positive reviews, 23% of that was from negative reviews. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the person liked that it was different or hated that it was different. That's just like that's just me recording the rating with it. I saw some people mix this up. You fucked up. But yeah, 1 in 5. 1 in 5 people. For every 5 reviews, one of those people mentioned that this game was not like DD1. Just imagine, like, out of so many people, so many of them had this common opinion. It's insane. And it's coming from like people with high hours and people in low hours. Like it varied quite a bit. Now, of course, if someone spent am I going into like the nuances? Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't. But yeah,
I then sorted the
No, I made an error. Oh no. Okay. So previously, I think this is the second version. I guess, seeing as there's an error, please tell me it's not in the real. Please tell me it's not in the official version of the document. Hold on. Is it in the one that I released? I see it. Let me. Darkest Dungeon 2. I assume if I just look up the name Darkest Dungeon 2, my review will come out. No, it doesn't. Well, I'm not as big as I thought it was. Okay. Open it. Steam review, spreadsheet, copy of copy. There it is. Fuck. I copied that thing maybe one too many times. Okay, let's see. Come on, YouTube. Redirect me already. You know you want to. It's my spreadsheet. It's my spreadsheet. Why do you not listen to me? Doesn't want to redirect me. Is the link broke? Okay, no, there it is. It's just slow. Okay. Numbers. So this is bad hero balance. For bad hero balance, it says here that there is an X. This should be a 0. Yes. Okay, it is a 0 in the official version. It's a 0 in the official version. Also, I had like because I spent way too much time with spreadsheets. I had a thing that like turns white into black and black into white, so that like everything is easier to look at. Because believe it or not, if you're staring at fucking white spreadsheets all day, at the end of the day, you're gonna have these eye bags and you're gonna want to fucking kill yourself. And I didn't want to live with that, so I had like a black mode for spreadsheets. Anyway, yeah, no. So the one of the ways that this whole thing made sense to me is that instead of 0, I would put X, and that's just what I did. And I guess like in the version where I was recording, I did not double check, so I had a nobody cares about this, man. It's such a minor clerical error. Okay, we're fine. We can keep going.
Details of those reviews in a spreadsheet based on my criticism so far, with some additional things.
I was really debating on removing the faulty I said I'm not going into nuances. Am I really going into this? Maybe. Okay, maybe I won't. I'm not getting into it. I wrote my opinion on it in the spreadsheet. You can go look at that.
That I'll explain soon enough. This is all to get a better idea.
What if you hired ChatGPT to do your challenged bidding? It's not better than me. It's worse than me.
Of what people feel like about the game. That way, I can name and shame.
It sucks. Critically, it really sucks. I'm better than it.
The best of my ability. As you probably guessed, my measuring stick for my objectivity will be the opinions of the masses. That way, if the majority agree that something is what they believe it is, that's probably the closest you can get to objectivity in an environment all about subjectivity. Now, I know what you're thinking. You read 3,000 Steam reviews. Wow, great job, Hermos. It sounds like your ADD medication is working a little too well for your own good.
I think I started like a certain new type of boosters that are supposed to like further assist the medication around this time, and you really could just see like how good it was, because I was doing like 200 reviews. Sorry, no, I was doing 100 Steam reviews per day. And then I started taking the booster medication, and then started doing like 200 a day, and then I started doing 400 at a certain point. So that's a lot of hours of just like processing Steam reviews, which is insane.
Because what the fuck will reading so many reviews do, bro? There's due diligence, and then there's unhinged overcommitments. What the fuck do you think this is? And if you thought that, then you would be
Rare existential moment from me. You're not gonna see a lot of shit like this, but I thought it was too hilarious not to put it in the video. So here's an existential crisis.
Editing Hermos, cut this part out.
I didn't actually take a medication for the entire thing, but it was a part of taking the medication to test for its effectiveness. And one of the ways I tested for it was like, how attentive can I be while doing this sort of project? Because this is a lot, and I mean a lot, like a lot of reading Steam reviews. And sometimes you read like 1,000 word Steam review that just has like 2 points or details about the game, and the person talking about it just doesn't shut the fuck up, and they're not adding anything to it. That's just a part of the process, man. So you really got to find a way to be able to live with it. And I had 2 paths. I could either rework and restructure a significant part of my life to further support giving into this and doing more and better at this than I usually would be able to if I had like a normal stable life, or I could just tell my doc, hey man, sometimes I have like worse days than others. You got something for that? He's like, yeah. Here you go, bro. Here you go. I'm like, cool. And of course, I use it responsibly. I try my best not to rely on it. But it is meant like an additive if needed be.
You see, I'm a bit
to this day, I try not to rely on that stuff if I can help it. Because ideally I would just be independent of that stuff. But there are weaknesses, and I'm trying to play around them.
If a Steam review addict, I engaged with it for so many years. It's less about the opinion and more about how socially questionable the person.
Because okay, am I going over this? You ideally would want someone who's like, passionate about the subject. And if the person that's passionate about the subject, when it comes to the review that you read, is, passionate about the subject, then they're gonna try to like summarize things adequately, and that's what usually ends up to be the top review of the month on Steam. If you go to like, I think most games, there's like 2 kinds of reviews really that make it to the top. Either informational reviews or funny reviews, just like one really big ASCII art of a cock, like a immaculate shaped dick. I don't really know where I was going with that. All I meant to say is I saw this really good dick the other day. Holy shit, I cannot believe it. It was on BTD6. It's not censored. It's still there, I'm pretty sure. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Person is. Because any normal review, and the overwhelming majority of people will...
Yeah, this is like the average review. By the way, this is a mathematically accurate. And I'm not fucking with you. You see this review right here? The 4 words, and then like, how many letters is this? 23 letters. There are 23 letters in this review. This is like an actual like average on what the average review looks like. This is what it looks like. This is the average review. You think I'm crazy? Hello, Hermos, what the fuck? Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Me too, man. Me too. You and me.
Simply post that the game is ass or that the game is grass with some surface level reasons on why the game...
They never go deep into it, right? That's the average review. But the good ones go into detail. They tell you stuff.
Game is that way, and then move on with their day. However, if you go to check the
Dude, Warhammer 40k has like the craziest review. The craziest review as the top review. Holy fuck. This is real, by the way. So this was the top review of Dishonored 2. This was the top review of BTD 6. I say monkey game as a meme because I don't know. In my head, it's like anything monkey means BTD 6. I have this thing in Space Station 13 where if I become a monkey, I just start throwing darts at people. And I call them balloons. And yeah, monkey game. Monkey, I love, yeah. And then Warhammer 40k Dark Tide just has like an absolute book. And the best part is I read through the whole thing and it's so well spoken. It is an explanation of mechanics. It is an explanation of the approach by the developers. It is a retrospective. It is such an immaculate review. It deserves every single award it has. It is such an immaculate creation. Genuinely. And I wish I can one day capture the spirit of this guy in a video. Hopefully with enough autism to make it funny. Because this guy does such a great job at being informational. Goddamn. Beautiful.
Top reviews on any game, it's always someone that's a little bit on the spectrum. Reading so many opinions from so many people is bound to lead us to read the opinions of those that are more socially questionable than I can show for this video. So before I delve into the meat and potatoes of the spreadsheet,
oh god, this is the initial version of the review. Isn't it? Oh no. But no, this is still... Oh no. Uh-oh. Move on.
So here's some interesting things I found during my delve that I didn't cut from the video. The EULA of the game is a bit questionable and...
Yeah, so this is various investigations that sprung from reading so many reviews that I completed. And then decided to put that in the video. Because several things got removed.
Might be completely...
nearly all of them. Nearly all of them got removed. But here you go. Some things that made it into the video.
Invalid. The strange disagreements about roguelikes and roguelites, Slay the Spire, and...
Roguelike versus roguelike kind of exists, but it's... Yeah, it's like a political speech. It's like it's like politics over there. You bring it up in any friend group, everyone starts fighting. It's crazy. It's been happening for decades. I don't know why it's like that. My friends started yelling at each other when I brought up the difference between roguelike versus roguelike. It was just like mom and dad are fighting again. Fuck. It's like politics. Nobody agrees. Fuck.
The ridiculous comparisons and the DLCs. And I'm now about to delve into all of that before I even get into the spreadsheet. Just when I thought that the video was gonna end after over 6 months of making it.
No. If you guys ever think to yourself, what's taking so long with the videos? Just know that I'm out here punching myself in the face. I'm really having a war with myself. This like, let's rewind a little bit.
Ridiculous comparisons and the DLCs. And I'm now about to delve into all of that before I even get into the spreadsheet. Just
this GIF right here really sums things up perfectly. Me finally getting on top of the video.
When I thought that the video was gonna end.
Me coming in to destroy the video.
And after over 6 months of making it, the rabbit hole grows deeper.
It's so on point. Right. So, how am I even going to approach this? Do I want to... Okay. One of the really cancerous things about talking about legalese is that you usually have to speak in a language called legalese. Which is not like a language for normal people. So... Fuck am I supposed to do? Just jump off the window? Maybe that might be what I do.
Then I saw pop up time and time again was...
Yeah, right. So... Several reviews mentioned that the EULA of the game is pretty questionable, and I took the time to read it, to see it in its entirety, to try to actually give it a good ability to understand it, and to understand, what it's trying to apply, its implications and such. And in the same way, and in the same approach that like any person that tries to start being like healthy around contracts does, you very quickly realize that said contract is one big pile of shit. That's just the average. It's really just not made to be your friend. It's made to like fuck you over in court. That's really what this stuff is made for. And then I was just like, well, what am I gonna do then? Am I just gonna like make a video that says, hey, this shit looks like shit. It sucks dick. But then it's like a little voice at the back of my head was just like, wait a minute, man. This is Red Hook Studios that we're talking about. This is a fucked up contract, but like, we know them. We know them. We psychoanalyze them so much. We've watched so many interviews. We've watched so many talks, times they went on stage and spoke. We watched so many meetings. We've watched so many podcasts. We psychoanalyze them. I have them psychologically profiled. I got these guys on a fucking filing cabinet right here by my side. I don't think they're evil people. Do I think they're legally evil people? I don't think so. You know what I think they are? Game developers. And what do game developers have in common with each other? Not interested in extensively long and boring legal bullshit. But if you're gonna make a game, you're gonna wanna, end user license agreement, TOS, whatever. If it has like a multiplayer aspect, yeah, okay. If you're gonna ban people, then you're gonna have to say that like, hey, we have the right to do that to you. Because otherwise, like, shit goes into court, and if they're gonna hear him, even if you win, right? Even if you win, because let's not forget, they were still an indie company, so the financials probably weren't gonna support it that much, like a full-on lawsuit in court. So they probably just didn't even want to go to court to begin with. So that's why they just like offloaded the work into someone else. And that someone also is like, hey, here's a completely evil contract. You'll probably never go to court with this. Also, like half of it is not enforceable, so it's fine. It's just there to like tell people to fuck off, basically. And yeah, that made a lot more sense to me, especially when you. Am I gonna be this insane? I cut this part of the video. Am I really saying it? Okay. All right, I've decided I'm getting into it. Just a touch. Especially if you really psychoanalyze like their facial emotions, the way they sit, the way they act, the way they react when they say certain words, when they're, on a show and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say like I know them. I know how they are as people. I do not know them how they are as people, but I do know how they are as. Here comes the ego. But I do know how they are as people. What I mean to say is they don't give the aura of someone that's like overwhelmingly businessy or lying. They're just game devs, man. And they took the path of least resistance by making such a shit EULA. But then there's another voice in my head, right? There's just like, I don't know how to say it. Like, there are just certain things in this world that I've spent so much time looking into that there's just a hunch. Call it a hunch. That when we start approaching a certain conclusion, something at the back of my head was just gonna like start scratching a little bit. Just a little bit. It's gonna like something starts poking me around the shoulder, telling me, hey, you're not walking down the right path. There's something off here, something wrong. What if there's something even crazier than what you and me know is going on? Because this EULA makes no sense. Zero sense. Zero. The EULA of DD2 makes zero sense. Nothing. No sense. No logic. No sense. No foundation whatsoever. There ain't no way in hell that a lawyer, regardless of how corrupt, even if they were trying to scam them, would write something like this. So how the fuck did this one come to be? And I was just like, hey, let's go. A lot of this EULA makes sense within the realm of DD1. So if you go right now, and I was just like, wait, this is it really? I think it is. I'd call me crazy, but I think they copied the same EULA from the first game into the second one without thinking. And lo and behold, one quick fact check later, yeah, and I found specifically two differences about it. And when I emailed the lawyer, because I wanted a lawyer to like fully, like knee deep, take me into like the rabbit hole that is lawyership and legalese, so that I can explain it here in this video. And he was Canadian. I wanted him to be. He was Canadian. I wanted him to be Canadian, and I brought up the entire project to him. I got ghosted, and you know what? That's fair. You know what? That's fair. It is like an obsessive project. I completely get it. I don't hold it against him whatsoever. And you know, it was probably a blessing in disguise. Let's be real. My pockets are not that big. My pockets, you know, the Patreon. God bless you all. God bless you all, subscribers. Subs. I feel like I'm saying a slur. I don't know. Thank you all so much for giving me money. But let's be real. We're not at the point where we can like full on hire a lawyer. A lot of the budget for these videos tends to be just sheer will and fumes. Fumes in a pipe that I just smoke, and I just emit out whatever that comes out of that pipe as a product. It's because you didn't pay him first. They have a thing for that. It's called fuck. It's a specific word, but like you can pay him first, but they have to tell you that. They're not stupid. It's not their first time interacting with people who are new to law. In fact, that's their job as legal people. Excuse me, as lawyers, is to, you know, be able to explain that stuff to people that don't understand it very well. In the same way that artists need to explain, you know, how to get insight from you, how to do a good job at drawing what you want, is that they will have to, you know, ask you for references. The more the better, stuff like that. These people know how to work with people that don't know what they're doing. And I also had a fortunate experience like that recently as well. I was doing some contract kahooting in the background, and I ran the contract by someone who I gave the impression, or I try not to bias them. So I told them, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And they gave me a bunch of really good paragraphs, really healthy stuff. They also told me to throw the contract at the face of the person that gave it to me. Frankly, I felt the same way before I even went to them, but I was hoping, you know, get a professional opinion first before I bring up any personal worries. That's a story for another time. Anyway, yeah, end user license agreement. That was my opinion about it. I said I wasn't gonna get into it, and I got into it. Well, fuck me, I guess.
Mentions of the
Let's just get over it.
you love being quite unhinged in the reviews, with the most referenced sections being
5 and
sections
14.
5 and 14.
The section 20 was also mentioned quite a bit, but section 20 is intuitive. It makes sense if you read it. So, you know, we may it's one of the people quoted here. We may terminate this agreement and your access to the game immediately if you breach this agreement. Yeah, if you breach the agreement, they're gonna be breaching the agreement. The breachment is canceled. The agreement is canceled. Excuse me. If you breach the agreement, the agreement is canceled. That's intuitive.
14 of the end user.
What, you expect to breach the agreement and not have it get canceled? Usually there's like a compromise, something like that, right? It's like, hey, if you breach the agreement and the conflict is not cured within whatever days, we have the right to terminate whatever. But that's like for the more professional stuff. For a video game, yeah, man, you cheat in multiplayer, we're gonna ban you. That's just it. I assume people had issues here because it's just like, it's a single player game. You know, it doesn't make sense for them to ban you over a single player game. Just stupid.
User license agreement. So I took the time to check it out. Section 5 states the following: general access.
I feel something similar towards like balancing in a single player game. Like, why would you want to balance in a single player game? It's like, as long as it's not something that's game breaking, why would you want to do that? It's just people having fun for their own self, you know? If balancing is such a big problem, how about you instead like add an extra to the ceiling? Add another difficulty. Add some rewards to that difficulty. You would not believe the distances people go for like a beautiful skin or two. Some people put in thousands of dollars too. So it's just like, add one of those, man. Add a couple of those. It really doesn't take your artist that much time, and you'll get hours and hours and oodles of gameplay time as a result. It's just a better solution than to just nerf everybody, to just like nerf someone's favorite toy somewhere. You hear that? That's young Hermos still sad to this day that they fucked over my boy.
We also reserve the right in our sole discretion to terminate your access to all or part of the game or to any product or service available through the game or any Red Hook website for
That's I love. So, oh my god, that was nuts. That part is nuts. Oh my god, look how I'm fucking just smashing the keyboard, man.
access.
This part is
We also reserve the
crazy.
right in our-
This part is crazy. This actually is such a bit.
So, one practice that I found to be very interesting when, researching, like, why is there so many, like, unenforceable clauses in EULAs? Why is that, like, such a common thing? Do people, is it, like, a real thing that people just, like, guess what to write on these? And half the time it's not real? And I think that, yeah, it's kind of a guessing game, but at the same time, like, they know this. Sometimes they know that it's not something that they could apply, and they still put it in anyway. Because it's to deter you. It's to stop you from breaking the whatever thing that they don't want to be broken. And I thought that was such like an interesting game, an interesting like a point or an interesting practice. Because I had this other point, I never really thought it out that much, but I had this other point that like lawyership, legalese, it's all like a game of semantics. So for there to be like a mini game of semantics in the middle of that mess, well, it's just thematically accurate. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's a bad thing, but it is, thematically, it makes perfect sense though. It's also because people don't read the EULAs; they just click accept. That's very true. Thankfully, there has been some pushback against that in recent years, where like. In actual courts, they were like, hey, they agreed to the TOS. And then when you pull up the experience of agreeing to the TOS, it's like, no, man, they pressed a button. They don't know what any of what showed up in front of them means. It's up to you. It's up to you to like make all of these paragraphs like actually readable and understandable. Unfortunately, like some companies have been forced to make their EULAs actually healthy.
our sole discretion to terminate your access to
But this part, the no reason, with or without any or no reason, just writing that out, man, that's crazy. Initially, when I read this, I was like, okay. That sounds insane on surface level, whether you're into legalese or not. That's insane. That's insane. But maybe Canada works in some very, very strange ways. Maybe it does. I've seen some really weird fucking laws unfold. I really have. I've seen some really, you don't want to know some of the weird shit, bro. Some of the really fucking weird shit. You want to see some really weird... No, we're not going to get to it. Okay, we're not going to get to it. Cut that line of thought. Okay. But there are some governments that uphold the law in some very strange ways that just like... So I was, smart me was asking like, hey, is there something very like out of the wall happening here? Is there something AWOL going on here that I just don't know, fathom, or understand? And so I did my diligence. I got in contact with some good souls. I sent some messages here, some emails there. Got replies, went after documents, read documents, did my own due diligence, and then I came back here and I was like, yeah, no, this is fucking insane, man. Regardless of like what school of thought you're in, like writing this sentence is fucking insane.
all or part of the game or to any product or service available through the game or any Red Hook website for any reason
Or no reason. Oh my
with
god.
or without notice.
Or no
Now,
reason.
that
That's
sounds crazy,
insane.
but due to an autistic binge from a couple years ago, I understood that this is lawyer speak, which is a little bit different from normal people.
Yeah, no, I was really underplaying it here. It's not a little bit, it's pretty different, man. I really mulled over a lot on like how I would even go over this stuff myself and the various bits of information and disagreements that I found. Because like this is a thing, right? This is just like a thing that I'm sure you two experienced to some degree, where like you'll go to two professionals and they will both tell you different opinions, and when you tell them about each other's opinions, they'll disagree with each other sometimes. So that's like, you know, as someone who doesn't know or isn't as experienced as those people, how do you get to know who's right or wrong? As someone that's looking to learn, what side do you choose? And that happens here. I'll move forward.
People speak. And since my knowledge on law is mostly cursory these days, I decided to take the time to not only refresh my memory, but
How is this different from you banning chatters for no reason? Oh no, I do it for a reason. And it is me getting a satisfaction out of it. Like right now. Hey, thanks for volunteering to be a live example, Jackoff. I'll see you in 1 week. Thank you though. Thanks. See, I feel a little bit better. I feel more at peace, you know? I feel a little bit more at peace there after doing that. That's not for no reason. You know, I didn't ban you for no reason there. I banned you for a pretty good reason. I feel so much better.
also to become a little bit smarter on the matter. I sent some emails here, some messages there, looked up a couple examples, and now I can definitively say that this is definitely insane,
so
even for lawyer speaking standards.
fuck?
This section only makes sense to me as a ban section, which would protect the game if they were to ban you from the multiplayer part.
Protect Red Hook. Red Hook. Red Hook. There's also a secondary meaning that I didn't go into completely, which is stop killing games. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into it.
For the game or something like that, which doesn't make any sense in the context of Darkest Dungeon 2 because it's exclusively single player. Even if they can ban you, what would they ban you from? Now for section 4.
Yeah, it is just like, it's not even like the type of game that's online without having like any reason not to. It isn't. I tested for that. Yes, they send some data, but if you can't send that data, the game still functions no problem. That's about it though. Like that's really all there is to it. So like, even if they were to ban you, what would they ban you from? And the answer is nothing, because this EULA just shouldn't be here in the first place.
And it states consent to monitoring. When you are using the game may monitor your computer's RAM for unauthorized third-party programs that interact with the game, probably cheat engine, and are prohibited by this agreement.
Because it's the way cheat engine works is that you alter the memory. The game stores data in the memory. You alter that memory. You alter the data in the memory. So like you change your health value from being 1 to 1 million. That's just how it works.
If the game detects an unauthorized third-party program, probably cheat engine, the game may, without notice to you,
because cheat engine as well was a popular way to cheat in the first game.
You communicate that information to us, including your account.
There's guides as well on how to use it, and it's it's pretty common.
Information, IP address, details about the unauthorized program, and the time and date that the
your gender, your social security number, your wife, your time of birth, your dog's first name, your second dog's first name.
Unauthorized third-party program was detected. If the game detects the use of
your favorite rocket missile, your preferred way of death, the number of trees outside your door, all of that gets sent over.
If an unauthorized third-party program, your access to the online portions of the game
and the necessary information as well for a rocket to lock on your exact location, that also gets sent over.
Game may be terminated. You hereby consent to this monitoring.
I like how that's in the term and not like at the bottom saying like, hey, you agree to all the terms in here. No, this term also has like a you agree to this term.
Now, this one sounded to me like an anti-cheat section.
But, you know, if we were to look at it rationally, this makes sense as an anti-cheat section. So, you know, you can't use cheat engine, bro. Don't use cheat engine. If you use cheat engine, you think he's going to send us all of your personal data, personal information, and then we're just going to ban you. We're just going to send you a little packet that says fuck you in very big letters every time you boot up the game.
Because one of the more common ways to cheat in Darkest Dungeon is by altering.
You know, here's a live example. Well, this isn't really cheating. I'm using speed hacks to speed up the game. But it is, I'm using it. I'm using it, this is very common. If you watch me stream Darkest Dungeon, you saw me do this.
During the memory, which is again strange because Darkest Dungeon 2 is exclusively single player with no online functionality. There's analytics collection, but that's about it, and they're definitely not gonna ban you
100%.
from giving them your information. So why would
Absolutely.
they monitor your RAM? And more importantly, why would they want identifying information? Even if they were collecting your information for the sake of improving sales or even selling it, something just sounded off about this. Initially, I was gonna spend a lot of time digging deep and talking to lawyers to fully
I kind of did already, though. I guess I didn't really do like the full commitment of like the lab coat and all that, and the really cancer, like dedicating so many hours of every day into it. But like still, like I put in time into this answer,
understand the reasons behind it.
or like the answers leading up to this, because this is when I realized, wait a minute, this is Red Hook. This is Red Hook. I know the answer already, and the answer is the stupid. The stupid happened, and the answer is probably way simpler than I think it is.
A EULA like this. But then I realized a critical revelation occurred to me. Hey, hold on, wait a minute. Everyone, cease all operations. This is Red Hook Studios we're talking about, and nobody knows them better than my imagination does. So just as I already have done once before, I'm gonna do it again to utilize a critical and powerful mental faculty that I have. The ability to make shit up and be right at the end of the day.
So I actually had a nightmare about this section, like an actual nightmare. Like I was asleep and I had a nightmare where I would just like go into the analytics screen, and I found that I had the nightmare was like everyone disliked the video because of this section. So I just like went on stream. Go on stream, and for like 2 hours straight, I just kept saying, "Why are you booing me? I'm right. If you're gonna make shit up and it still be right, if you're gonna end up being right, then why are you mad? I'm right. I'm just right. I'm right. Why are you booing me? I'm right. I'm just right. What's there to be mad about? Somebody made shit up and turned out to be right. Einstein did that. Einstein just kind of made shit up and it turned out to be right. He just proved himself right, you know? It took him a while because like he was doing some really crazy shit. But like if I'm making shit up, but man, I'm right. I'm just right, you know? That's kind of how science works sometimes. You just really make some shit up and then you just end up being right. Sometimes. Like the one time a guy just tasted like a bunch of powders and then eventually just like tasted a poison. And then everyone know, oh, wow, crazy. Okay, so that one makes your liver go bye-bye. So yeah, it was a stressful nightmare. Also taught me some things about myself. I'm glad I'm not a controversial figure.
When I started utilizing that
I would embarrass myself too much.
ability, so much already made sense because I recognized
Not about being right though. I'm right. I'm damn right. That's just, there's no point to boo me here. If I make shit up and I end up right, that's what they call science, man. I don't know what to tell you.
the entirety of this EULA to be the same EULA from the first game, but it's not a complete copy-paste. There's
Harmless, what the fuck are you talking about? Facts. Facts. That's what I'm talking about.
exactly two differences between them.
These are the exact differences between them, by the way, at the time of recording. I don't think they update them anymore. At least for the first game. Maybe they did something to the second one after I pointed it out.
Because I recognized the entirety of this EULA to be the
You can go do this, by the way. It's actually like on the store page. You can just go pull up the EULA right now from both of the game's store page. You can even see like the link change here. You should have the same link.
same EULA from the first game, but
You see me go from like the
Right,
second
at the
game's
end of
EULA
the
to the
day.
first game's
When I-
EULA. Visually, if you look in here at the center, not much changes, or if anything, even changes. But the link changes. This is a different EULA.
started utilizing that ability, so much already made sense because I recognized the entirety of this EULA to be the same EULA from the first game, but it's not a complete copy-paste. There's exactly
The stuff that I censored here is the other stuff I had open on at the time of recording.
two differences between them.
Singular letter.
Here, capital, and
There's a spacebar at the end.
spacebar at the end. Interesting, fantastic, exclusive. So they didn't completely rush it when they copy-pasted the same EULA from the first game. The EULA makes much
A rare moment where I actually lose it just like from laughing. I just like laugh my ass off in the middle of recording.
more sense in the first game. Section 5 makes sense because it would legally protect Red Hook if they were to ban you for cheating.
And this is the rationalization of the EULA within the boundaries of the first game. which is that it makes sense. Is it evil? Yeah, it's fucking evil, but like, it makes sense, you know, there is a way that it makes sense.
The PvP arena. And Section 14 also makes sense because the anti-cheat system is to monitor the RAM.
Butcher Circus is both cinema and ass. You want cinema and ass? Use Leper and Butcher Circus. He is both cinema and ass.
If you're modifying the RAM, you would
Actually, mostly ass. Now that I think about it, mostly ass, but he's sometimes cinema.
of course get automatically flagged, your information reported, and then most likely later on banned. Banned.
All the budget went into the EULA. It's fucked
Banned.
up.
Most likely later on banned.
I'm making shit up in here, and I was just like, wait a minute, something about this sentence doesn't seem right. I'm probably right, because like, they collect your own personal information when you cheat. Of course. Intuitively, they would just ban you for that, right? They're collecting the necessary information they would need to ban you, to maybe even IP ban you. When you go against their terms of monitoring, it just makes sense that they would ban you. They would. It just makes sense.
Making shit up. And
For
I'm
them to
probably
ban you.
right, but something doesn't sit right with
something's
me. Something
not
about
right.
that sentence isn't normal.
Not right. I'm getting the hunch. Something is out of place here. This just doesn't seem right with what I've seen from them. It just doesn't seem right. I'm like a psychic staring into a glass orb, and it's all foggy and orb, but like everything has a pattern. And what I'm hearing right now, it's not within the same patterns that I'm seeing.
Banned.
Ban. They would ban you. It just makes sense.
They would ban you for cheating, of course.
I'm not even like being bad faith about this. This is just what intuitively, this just makes sense that they would ban you.
Of course.
Right?
Right?
I tried to find a picture or like any type of evidence of someone getting banned. Admittedly, I didn't spend too much time on it. I think I put in like maybe 40 minutes, but I found nothing. In 40 minutes of trying to find something, anything, I found nothing. I put out this public post about it, trying to look for something, nothing. Nothing. In 40 minutes of research, I was dry. And then I was like, okay, that's very interesting. I could put in the time, and I could actually try to cheat in Butcher Circus. And I could get really good at it too. I can become like a fantastic cheater. But I decided, you know what? We're like how many months past the 2 weeks time that I put in? And I was in this moment of thinking of just like, hey, this video has a lot of issues and I redid so many parts of it. And I'm also like a small channel putting in too much work into a single video. Mountainous amounts of work. I'm just gonna like make a cut here. And I'm just gonna call it a day.
Interesting. Hello everyone, Future Hermos here. While I still do intuitively believe that they
Intuition says that what makes sense is that they would ban you. But when I try to find something, anything saying that people do get banned, nothing more than rumors. And I'm not fucking with you. It is all admittedly, it is all in like approximately 40 minutes of research. So could I have done more effort? Yes. But that's that. I couldn't find anything.
probably ban repeat cheaters. I have to admit that I might be wrong about it, because I couldn't find a single example of a ban or even what it looks like to be banned. I could of course look deeper into the matter, but aside from the fact that I'm making a video that doesn't like me,
You could, so this part was recorded it's basically off script. You can just hear like the burnout beginning to kick in. So this is when the production of the video was really kicking. So it was, I think I was like during part 3's editing, somewhere pretty close to finishing the video. I think the last part actually that like needed editing was the spreadsheet section itself. is that I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it at the time of recording this specific part right here. And this is when burnout was really starting to punch me in the guts. And it was just like, hey, I'm not really enjoying this project anymore. And maybe I should go on a break. Not quit. I never felt like I had to quit. I never felt like this wasn't the right thing for me to do in my life. I always drew some sort of strange pleasure from making these videos. Some sort of like strange happiness. This is a calling. This is a call. It's a calling for me to entertain. And every now and then put on a lab coat and just like know a little too much about some random thing somewhere. Or sometimes it's not random. Sometimes it's just like the individual packets of light that my neighbor exchanges. I can tell you when he jacks off. Sorry, that's a little weird. I didn't even do that because I hate him or anything. He's actually a pretty nice person. I was just curious if I could do that one day. And then I did that one day, and I didn't realize that, like, hey, being this morally gray is not good, and I should probably practice being morally conscious maybe a little more. Not all the time. But I probably shouldn't spy on my bro's goon, you know? I mean, unless he wants me to raid it, then, you know, I gotta catch him at the source. I gotta see the deal go down live. Because that's the only, because, you know, your bro asks for a goon rating, you give him a good eye down. You give him a good, like, look up to the top of the head, look down to the tippity of the toe. This is what you. Where am I going? How did I get here? Sorry. Yeah, no, we're talking about EULAs or some shit, and I don't like it. I'm currently right. Burnout was hitting, and yeah, no, I badly needed a break. I was not having fun with this video anymore, and I was just like cut lines, cut corners. I had redone things too many times. I was having like yet another crisis problem with another part of the video for like the gazillion times. And I was just like, okay, I'm not putting on the lab coat for this. We're moving on. Once into making a video that probably selfish choice, very neglectful. It is neglectful for the purpose of the video. If I wanted to have like a genuinely 100% informational, professional video, this is something that goes against that. But if you boy goons, okay, moving on. You won't get more than 12 views. So I'm making an executive decision. I'm not gonna dive into this. And I was just like, hey, there's a real chance that this video doesn't even go above like 12 views. My creator senses always said that, hey, this video is gonna be pretty good, because I'm doing the thing where like I'm redoing various parts. I'm being very critical to the video. I'm redoing it like 12 gazillion times. And every time I do that, the video is like a 1 out of 10. It's the best of the best for like a while. So at least instinct said that it wouldn't be that, but I was also like, hey, I'm doing something extremely different than what I would do usually. So I'm probably not, you know, there's a real chance that this just flops. And here I am putting in months of work into it. So I'm just cutting this. Okay, I think I repeated myself too many times. Moving on. Back to past Hermos, who is currently mumbling insane ramblings and is probably right. Okay, so we've concluded that the EULA makes sense for the first game and that it doesn't make sense for the second game. But I also previously said that Section 5 is a bit insane even for lawyer speak. Any reason or no reason? Like, just try reading it, man. It's crazy. With or without notice, it's a bit unhinged. What the fuck? Lol. Lamau even. Some would even say, are you fucking retarded? But why is it like this? This is where... we're not explaining it. Look, if things got complicated, this is what ended up in the script. We're not explaining it. Things get complicated. Red Hook Studios, at the time of creating the EULAs of their games, were a group of indie devs. Indie devs, usually, are passionate about the game development aspect. They are not, however, passionate about the legal and extensively long and boring aspect of making games. And if they were... There's a really good reason people don't fucking read EULAs. It's extensive, it's long, and it's boring. And the implications are not intuitive at all. It's a game of semantics, and if you don't know how
ban
Alright,
you
moving on
from the
I'm
game
not-
or
I said I'm not going over it. We're moving on.
a section of the game, for example the PvP arena, for any reason, regardless of how valid it is. You could argue in court that it isn't fair for them to do that, as it was never stated anywhere that cheating wasn't allowed, and therefore would cause a lot of legal headache for them. Even if Red Hook was to win, the soundness of your argument alone would likely allow for a judge and or jury to hear you out. That alone.
And remember, they are an indie devs. They're a bunch of indie devs, and at the time of making Darkest Dungeon 1, they were funded almost exclusively, I think maybe even exclusively. No, wait, no. They had savings, right? They had their own savings. They were funded, at least based off of their word, they were funded off of Kickstarter and their own savings. They applied for like a government something game making fund, got denied, and then they went on Kickstarter, and that's how the game ended up being, I think.
Would cause years of headache. To resolve these things, EULAs and terms of service agreements exist, but indie devs don't usually know how to make them, so they either use a template and fill it with bullshit that they think is.
This was a really good EULA, by the way. I'm showing it here on screen. Hey, go check out this EULA. This is a really good EULA. It tastes amazing. Seriously, I love this EULA. It tastes amazing, actually.
Right, or they contact a law firm to do it for them instead. Judging by how the EULA is written, it was probably a law firm. So we've established how the EULA was most likely made, or as I said in a now redacted take,
My ass has spoken, and my ass is probably right.
The rest of the context there is probably best to have been deleted. I'm glad I deleted it.
Now, previously I said that Section 5 is insanely written even for lawyer speak. Why is it this insanely written? Well, that's because amongst
Okay. Yeah, here I am going over legal history. No, wait, no. Sorry, no, that's not what I put in the video. No, what I put in the video was like an extremely reductive. Oh, you're right. I put in like a very reductive explanation of like the two perspectives that penultimately exist when it comes to lawyers. There's a good guy that actually makes, good effort into making the EULAs accessible for people and healthy towards people. And then there's the majority, which is just like, hey, Ben, you came to me to get a contract that you want, like, no matter what happens, we don't want to go to court over this. So I'm going to put in the fuck you clause, where if you hate us in any way, we get to say fuck you and fuck you too.
lawyers, there exists a couple schools of thought. For the sake of time, I'm only gonna brush over two of them here.
Fuck,
today.
I said I'm not gonna get into this legalese bullshit. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up and let it go over.
The first school of thought believes that they should limit themselves in contract to what they will allow the company to get away with in good faith, assuming they have dignity. The second school of thought believes that the only thing that matters is victory above all else. So they tend to write very broad statements full of
Any reason or no reason? That's insane! Fuck, people are asleep in the other room. I gotta keep it quiet.
very insane sounding
The bitch clause, if you breach this agreement, we reserve the right to fuck your wife.
words that are meant to excuse whatever the company does should things ever reach the courtroom. I believe the law firm they contacted most likely resides in the second school of thought. Anyway, here's an interesting find. Many EULAs tend to have unenforceable clauses, sometimes knowingly so, and the usual reason is to deter.
So this is a healthy read. You can find it through Wiki. Admittedly, like I didn't spend too much time going to this because I found the discovery like so intuitive, based off of what I knew at the time. Sorry, I said I'm not gonna get into it. Fuck, we're not gonna get to it. It is what it is. You wanna know more information? Read that paragraph in the bottom left. All right, see ya.
Deter people from doing certain actions in the first place. Which begs the question, is Section 5 an enforceable EULA? When...
And then everything got deleted. I had such an interesting section here. It got deleted. It's all
Hello again, future tired ass here, tired of editing the video.
Oh my god, the alterations in this section received just fucking hell. Oh my god, right, that developer sent this message to me. I asked it. I said it best, man. Past me said it best. Hey guys, future tired ass here, tired of editing the video. I'm just gonna shut up and let Spark play. I want to go to bed.
It was confirmed to me by a community manager, who I'll leave outside of this, that any and all Steam developers have full access and control to who can and can't access their games. In a cursory search to find a single example of a developer wrongly revoking access to a game, I have found none. So, can the EULA be wrongly abused? In theory, yes, but in practice, I found nothing. What I did find is examples of copies being revoked for two reasons. One reason is fraudulent transactions, so the game was bought with a stolen credit card or the purchase was charged back after it was done. The other reason is beta testing reasons. Sometimes a certain build of the game will be given for beta testing and the
Yeah, fuck you, Derpins. I got invited to the Versus closed alpha test and you didn't. That's my name censored in that image. That was me. I'm way better than you. I'm saying this right now so you could feel bad about yourself, so I could feel better. Talk in the chat, Derpins. I know you're here. I know you're here. Smells like Derpins in here. If I smell, I'm using my sixth sense, and you know what it's telling me? It's telling me Derpins is here. You're here, Derpins. I want you to know I got invited to the Versus closed alpha test, and you weren't. I want you to know that. He's not here, is he? Fuck. Now I just embarrassed myself. I should have just shut up and let the spark play. I'm gonna shut up now.
developers involved eventually shut down the servers once the beta testing period is over, and so they revoke your access to that build of the game. Back to a now out of context section of the video, because everything previous to what you're about to hear got deleted. Wow, I love spending 6 months to make a single video. Wow.
It all go. Move on, just move on, just move on.
Wow, I didn't know I could make so many things up like that and still sound like I'm within the realm of reality. That's a bit insane. But you know what's truly insane is that the entirety of the EULA of the second game might just be completely invalid. I couldn't find anyone talking about
crazy.
this.
A lawyer actually said like, hey, this actually sounds like a valid take. While I doubt anyone will I doubt anyone will make this argument. Bro, there's cases where this went through, so who knows?
So how about we have a little bit of fun? I'm gonna read the paragraph that contains the silver bullet. Let's see if you catch it the same way that I did. End user license agreement and terms of service. This agreement is between you and Red.
They say like they doubt it because there is like an intuitive understanding of like, hey, you said yes to a EULA that was prompted to you for a game that you were playing. So if you're telling me like, hey, you pressed yes, I accept this EULA for the game that you were playing at the time, if there's like a minor clerical error in there somewhere, it is still intuitive and understandable and reasonably that you had agreed to a EULA for the game that you were playing at the time. So just because it word by word, letter by letter doesn't say that game, there is a possible, like a feasible chance for the judge to say like, hey, either, this depends on like how, fuck, man. The judges are like actually respectable usually. I'm sorry, a virgin deadass. No, bro, I fuck my computer and then life fucks me back. Anyway, what was it talking about? Fuck, this is why I don't read the chat while I'm on these trains of thought.
Hook Studios regarding the Darkest Dungeon computer game and all related software files, documentation, updates, upgrades, and derivative works. Red Hook developed and owns the game and is licensing the game to you on the terms and conditions.
I told myself I'm just gonna let this part play and not go into it, and then I went into it. I don't think I could get with a woman, man. If I ever like lose it one day and tell her about Darkest Dungeon 2, I don't think anyone could accept me like that, man. I think I'm best, I'm at my best with my bestie, and it's you, Derpins. There's no feeling in the world better than banning you. And one day I'm gonna marry the ban button for you.
Set out below. Fuck. Did you catch it? They don't say Darkest Dungeon.
They don't say it.
They don't say Darkest Dungeon franchise.
They don't say that
either. They don't
either.
even say Darkest Dungeon Dude,
They don't.
They
They
say
don't.
Darkest Dungeon, the computer game.
And you know what? In a field all about semantics, I'm about to get semantic. Check this shit out.
Also, it's not called Darkest Dungeon, it's called Darkest Dungeon Registered.
Score, silver bullet. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Right, I said I'm just gonna let this part play. Sorry. So you can argue that the end user license agreement of the second game does not involve the second game. And according to a lawyer that I emailed about this, he actually thinks the argument could have some validity to it. Do I think Red Hook Studios are criminals? No. They probably...
I don't show the email because I felt it felt like a little off to show like something that they sent me as like for legal thoughts for free in a video where like I didn't necessarily have like their own written consent to show them in the video, so it just felt off to show their opinion in the video. Not because I'm a fraud. Not to say that I'm not a, I'm a pretty good criminal. Hey, don't challenge. I lost my train of thought because I glanced at the chat. I don't know, man. I'm just looking at the picture in front of me right now. I'm just looking at what we're all looking at right now, and I'm just like entering my inner peace, man. I'm really in a state of mind right now. This is amazing. I got the devil on my shoulder, the angel on my shoulder. They're both looking at the screen right now and just like, yeah. I'm glad I didn't kill myself. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm here to watch Asim Barber do Asim Barber things. Look at him go, man.
They're just amateurs. And they took the path of least resistance when they copy-pasted the entire EULA of the first game to the second game. I hate them for what they did to the $25 that were once in my pocket. But I also like being fair about things when there's multiple sponsors and shareholders holding a bag of money over my head. Now, in the same spirit of Red Hook wanting to avoid legal headache, I will now state a similar legal cop-out that involves some...
That guy resembles Captivore, but prettier? Shit, he's right. Okay.
Legally important sentences. None of this is legal advice. It is simply my ass speaking. And my ass is probably right. While I was reading the more extraterrestrial reviews on Steam, I found myself running
not
into...
the politics. Oh god, no. No, oh no, am I gonna explain how I feel about... No, I'm not. Fuck off. If you have any rogue opinions, get that shit away from me. Go away. I don't want... No politics. Nobody get political in this shit. We're gonna go through this. We're gonna be one happy family, and nobody's gonna disagree with another person, okay? Leave me alone.
a high amount of reviews that called the game a roguelike and a roguelite, sometimes interchangeably. Righteous in my belief that the game is a roguelike and eager to express my commitment to hatred immediately, I went out looking for a solid example to disprove the many wrong reviews that I had seen, only to find something even more confusing. I was both right and wrong, depending on who you ask, because the very definition of...
I actually played it, by the way. This is the original Rogue that you're seeing right now. The original Rogue that started the genre. I played it.
Roguelikes and roguelike
That is actual live footage of me playing it.
had been around for so long and changed so much that the original rogue game that started the genre is now considered a roguelike. But still, with a heart motivated with nothing but hatred, I still look to express it upon every unsuspecting Steam review that went against my belief. So, I asked the people around me, name 3 games.
You know, for the sake of proven intuition, I thought like, hey, I can find reliable answers from the people around me. I'm gonna ask them.
That you think are a roguelike
that was
or
a
a roguelite,
mistake.
and then say which one you think
That was
is
a
which.
mistake.
And well, it didn't take long for me to realize that that was probably a bad idea, because things only became more confusing. Slay the Spire's Steam tags say it's a roguelike. I think it's a roguelite. 2 friends said it's a roguelite. A resident in the Discord server says it's a roguelike. And according to a poll I did, 75% think it's a roguelike, 25% think it's a roguelite, and 100% think it's heroin.
To further proof the 100% think it's heroin, let me just pull up the spreadsheet. Nope, this is an incest wiki. That is not good, and it's about to open some bad things on the screen right now. One moment. Okay, to further prove like how much of an addiction that game is, where is it? So if you go into the numbers in the spreadsheet and then you scroll down below them marked for faulty recordings, there are some what I like to call interesting statistics. So, so when I say that I got distracted, I mean like in the middle of a session of reading reviews or processing reviews. Excuse me. In the middle of me processing reviews, this is the number of times like I got distracted from that to go play Slay the Spire. 5 times. And the first comment I left is that is when I uninstalled it, and I uninstalled it because it was too addictive. The game was too good. It was too good. It was so good I had to uninstall it. That's how good it was. I left a comment later saying that the game is like heroin. And then I relapsed, and then I reinstalled it because it was too addictive. And then I uninstalled it because it was too addictive. And then I reinstalled it because I want to beat the final boss, the heart. So yeah, no, it's real, man. It's real. It's real, man.
One person said Hades is a roguelike, others said it's a roguelike. The Steam tags say it's both.
It's
Enter
both.
the Gungeon. I think
What
it's a
the fuck?
roguelike. A friend said it's a roguelike, and the Steam tags think it's an action roguelike. Darkest Dungeon
Like, what
2
the fuck?
advertised as a roguelike, yet it has the tag of a roguelike. The reviews says it's both, and I'm too angry to think. If I was to put everything I found into this one video, would be here all day. Now, I'm willing to do that, kinda, but the problem is, we have already been here all day, and you can't fit 2 days in one just yet. So here's an extremely reductive explanation of this mess. The rogue formula and genre in general, due to its popularity, seems to have underwent a severe mutation across the years.
I can go into detail about like what led to me having this line of thought with the video. I'm not gonna do that because I kind of just want my life back.
So much so that there now exists various schools of thought regarding it. The more commonly detailed agreements state that roguelikes should denote that future runs cannot be influenced, and
So some people thought it was like a black and white, either the game is a roguelike or a roguelite, and like it isn't as much of a spectrum. But for me, like I thought that like, hey, any game can have like a bunch of loot in it, but not any game can have that loot matter, because there's like you can just end up with like a game that has like common perks that you pick up, and then what they do is like 5% something, and then like the 5% is not actually like making much of a difference. And then like some games have, you know, perks like you do in Slay the Spire, where it's just like it never really gets boring. Unless you have like some severe strategy already rolling, then it's just like, okay, well now you're looking for things that synergize with that, and not everything synergizes with that. So yeah, you get what I mean. Either like you find exciting things or you don't find exciting things. Things that matter. How much does it matter? Is there permadeath? How easy is it to die? Is the game difficult? The more difficult it is, the more like it is, in my opinion. Permadeath is also a like thing. Perks that matter is perks that make a big difference. Like the bigger the difference, the more light it is. The smaller difference, the more like it is. The more like permanent upgrades is a light thing. Non-permanent, if there's no permanent upgrades, it's a like thing. Hence the permadeath part as well. Like those two go hand in hand. And this is how I felt about the two
roguelike
games.
denote that future runs should be influenceable in some way, usually to make
Without getting too detailed, because this again, it's just reductive. It's just surface level.
them easier. By that
definition, I think Darkest Dungeon 1 is a roguelike, and it's, you know, about here on the roguelike spectrum, and like an extremely, so to speak, left part on this spectrum would be what I would call a traditional roguelike, which is like you have zero influence on future runs. That would make the game a traditional roguelike. Or if it's the more heavily influenceable it is, the more roguelite it is. And some like key points here at the top.
that definition, Darkest Dungeon
I'm gonna glance at the chat right now. I'm gonna find like some nuclear political talk going on, aren't I? Yeah, let's see here. That profile picture is an indicator that the person is the most basic bitch in existence. Hey, fuck you, man. I had that profile picture when it was hot. I was doing it before it was cool. You know how old that thing is? I didn't do that anytime recent. That was back when like PewDiePie was gaming in a basement. I was there, man. I was doing it before it was the meme too. I was the cool one. I was fucking sick as hell. You know what else I was doing before it was cool? There was this pyrocynical meme that I posted on his Reddit, and someone else legitimately reposted it, and it got like 6 gazillion times more the upvotes, and then he featured it in his video, and I felt like I was robbed. I felt like my money, like my lunch money was taken. 2 years ago. Oh, I mean about the cat lady with leather hat. Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about the crow picture. Never mind. I don't know. Never mind.
2 would be a roguelite, and Darkest Dungeon 1 would be a roguelike. There is, of course, a lot more reasons on why either of them can feel like a roguelike.
So grid-based, I would say that's like roguelikey, but I don't think it influences whether it is a roguelike or roguelite that much. That's just how I feel about this, right? And also like a roguelike doesn't feel like watered down or like simple, so to speak. Also like the bigger focus on a dungeon, or like the more dungeony the feel of the game, that's also more like the more exploration you do, that's more like yes, pretty good. Fairly present meta progression. Yeah, you pick up a big sword, you start using the big sword, stuff like that.
Or a roguelite, but out of the reasons that everyone mentioned, this seems to be the most commonly mentioned reason. However, all of that wasn't something that
Sorry, I really want to comment on a lot of things, but I also don't. No, don't feel bad, man. Don't feel bad. That's just me doing it to myself, and if I was better with this stuff, I would be handling it better, because I handled it better in part 1 and part 2 of the stream. This is just me sleep deprived, drinking a little bit of coffee just so that I can like wake up through the stream, because once the stream is over, I'm heading straight to bed. So don't feel bad. Say what you want to say, man. I'll read it when I can.
Thought about initially. So that leaves us with one last question. What is my definition for roguelikes and roguelites? Initially, I was gonna
put in so much time and hours, and then I was like, man, is this really worth it? I'm so burnt out of making this video. Let's just skip this part 2. Fuck.
Do another deep dive to fully understand what school of thought I belong to. But after finding out how complicated things were, I said to
this is such a beautiful, like, visual part in the video. I love this so much. Let's just take a moment to appreciate this. Let's just chill out for a moment. Alright, the moment's best.
To myself, fuck that. So here's the answer that I made up after I ran out of time that most aligned with me. I don't know. I'm just here to be mad at people who disagree with me. Alright, this one's kinda interesting. Something I saw happen quite a lot is people mention—
Where do you even find the visuals? I find stuff sometimes through a meme channel. Sometimes through whatever my mind thinks of at 3 in the morning. And then I just look it up, and then I find it, and I'm like, yes, this is a great thing to put in the video. Alright, now we're entering the Slay the Spire part. So far the stream has been too interesting. I'm gonna make the stream way more boring and just let the video play now.
Or comparing this game with Slay the Spire. And when I had seen this initially, I thought to myself,
I thought they were all stupid. I thought
you
they were all
smell that?
retarded.
It smells like stupid in here. Because a cursory glance is more than enough to understand that they're too different to compare. Other than the fact that one game is heroin and the other game is shit, I do believe that nothing happens for no reason. So I put on the coffee stain.
What happened? What happened? Sorry, something took over me there for a second. People are asleep in the other room. I should just shut up.
Lab coat and delved into the matter, and I found a couple things that are interesting. When it comes to the rogue genre, usually the biggest in that genre tend to inspire a sub-genre of themselves. It's how the term mutated so much in it.
This is footage from IGN, by the way. The watermark is on the bottom right. That's how burnt out I was. I was just downloading other people's footage at this point.
Its meaning across the years. Pieces of the formula taken from one game to the other, just inspiration after inspiration.
This game is actually cool. Fuck, what's it called again?
Inspiration so many times across
This game, it's got like a lot of Slay the Spire feel in it.
the years.
But it's
That
like a
might
smart...
just be what happened.
Fuck, what's it
With
called?
Darkest Dungeon 2, because if you can believe it, Darkest Dungeon 2 is inspired by Slay the Spire. It's hinted and touched on in several interviews with the developers. It's clear Slay the Spire had an
I want to find that game right now. Come on, I know I played you. Where are you? Give me one moment, I will find this. I will find this and I will tell you about it, and you can go pirate it. And if you like it, buy it. Because that team of developers is actually small and they deserve a little bit of cash. Let me find it. I'm going to find it right now. Don't interrupt me. Let me find it. Cobalt Core. Cobalt Core. I'm typing it in chat. Cobalt Core. It's called Cobalt Core. Cobalt Core. I'm going to the Steam store. I'm going to find this game right now. It is an actually competent little game. I played it. It's actually fun. Look at this. Cobalt Core. There's the Steam store page for it. It is a genuinely competent little game inspired by, or at least it looks like it was inspired by Slay the Spire. It's a sci-fi roguelike deck builder with a deep new single-axis spin on tactic games. That is what the About Us section of the game says. Okay, it sucks. That is, you need to redo that. But it's, it is a competent game. It's actually not bad. All right, proceeding now. I want to go to bed, so I'm just gonna let this ride.
influence on Darkest Dungeon 2. The obvious thing that they took away is the map mechanic and possibly the loot. However, they integrated their own spin on both of them and it ended up meshing pretty badly with the rest of the game. Their take on the map mechanic is pretty boring, taking over 30% of the playtime just for the sake of immersion, and all there is to do during that time is watch the Maserati move around at a snail's pace. It's also evident that they tried to take away the loot aspect of Slay the Spire, but they make the classic roguelite mistake of having so much garbage in the loot pool that unlocking new items further dilutes the pool of items that you can get, with over half the unlockable items in the game not even being better than the stuff you have unlocked by default. Even with unlocking new abilities for heroes, there's a trade-off there too. Yes, you get new abilities, but not only are most abilities pretty
Some of those abilities are like, I feel like they were more so thought experiments from the devs rather than like some attempt to make like an actually competent ability. It's so strange. It's so strange. I could go on. I really could, but I think I gotta die. So let's
bad, but
rush
also
a
now
little bit.
when you get a positive relationship, you increase the chance of
All right, so they changed it in the middle of my experience. So I kind of left both of them in. Whenever you got a relationship back then, it would select a random ability. So if it was a negative or positive relationship, it would select a random ability. And if it was a negative one, it would just force you to select whatever ability it chose. Now I believe it specifically biases towards abilities you've chosen. So you can bias it in that way. Of course, the game doesn't communicate that to you. You have to read the patch notes to know that. And if you didn't read the patch notes, well, you just don't know that. And it kind of looks random.
the relationship picking
I'm just gonna move on before I die.
an ability that you're not using because it chooses randomly between what you have unlocked. This happens quite a lot more than you'd expect. Inspiration can be a
Yeah, and in that footage, it was just like, I'm gonna choose shit abilities now.
fairly easy trap to fall into. You can
This is such a well put part of the video, though. I see this experience. I see this genuinely like happen with some like passionate people. Is that they'll sometimes let inspiration get the best of them. Inspiration is a lightning in a bottle. It is something that really drags you by all of your wires. Sometimes it is a lovely experience, and it's also something that can lead you astray. The creative process is not straightforward, and I'd be lying if I said that I had, a straightforward experience. I mean, here we are in this video, right, having internal conflicts, like, fuck. Also, I did a typo. I just noticed it now. There is an I after the T and before the Y. This video is ruined forever.
relationship picking an ability that you're not
I'm gonna delete it after this stream.
using because it chooses randomly between what you have unlocked. This happens quite a lot more than you'd expect. Inspiration can be a fairly easy trap to fall into. You can take the good aspects of another game but make up other stuff that don't mix well with it. And when it comes to the rogue genre in general, I think this is more common than any other genre. In the first game, every DLC expanded on the game in some way. The Crimson Court added a new map with a lot of bosses, mobs, a heavily invasive mechanic, and it ramped up difficulty quite harshly, more than what most would have liked to see. Personally, I liked the difficulty, but
I feel like as far as difficulty goes, I kind of enjoyed it. But it was not fun when you wanted to do something else and the DLC would force you to interact with it. That part of it was not fun.
there were certain fights that were harsher than
Oh, and the boss fights. Oh my god, some of them are just obscene. Jesus Christ.
most of the
Like the final boss fight. Final boss fight was just fucked.
bosses in the DLC. The DLC was about $10. The Color of Madness added an endless mode and a lot of interesting trinkets. It was balanced in such a way that it only made sense to be explored in the mid-late game, as a lot of grinding was required.
Like a lot, by the way. And I genuinely do mean like multiple hours of just sitting here and pressing the same buttons over and over again. A lot of hours, like borderline Asian MMORPG. It was fucked.
Still though, it was something new and it only costed $5.
But you know, it introduced some cool items, so you know it had something going for it.
The Shieldbreaker was a single character DLC featuring the highest DPS of any character in the entire game, but coming at the cost of no stuns in the abilities set. This is probably the closest the game ever got to being pay to win. The DLC costed $4. All of the DLCs were pretty cool. They all came with something that was both interesting and annoying, but as someone who just loved the base gameplay loop so much, I did
The coke, oh dude, the coke that it came with allowed for some very, very interesting things to happen. The coke is so cool. I try not to use it because it's like every time I have a plan with it, it just works wonderfully. So I tried to make a conscious choice not to use it.
mind it for the most part. I wonder how the DLCs are like in the second. Pretty cool. They all came with something that was both interesting and annoying, but as someone who just loved the base gameplay loop so much, I didn't mind it for the most part. I wonder how the DLCs are like in the second game. Well, brother, you were in for a wild ass scam and a half. You have no idea!
I went off script here.
Look, they're both character-based DLCs. One introduces two characters and the second introduces only one. They're both $10.
Oh man, one character for $10 is such a hard sell. Jesus Christ.
They're the type of DLCs that only make sense to buy if you already like the core gameplay loop. But by no means do they add
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to DLCs for games, a lot of them tend to suck. And it's a lot of them tend to be like the kind of DLC where it's like, it only makes sense to buy this if you love the core gameplay loop. And if you just like want more of the game, regardless of the quality of the product. So that's how I feel about it. It's like there's that type, and then there's like the type that's like expands on the concepts and mechanics of the game, of which there's very few and rare kinds. I feel like there's only like those two types of DLCs, other than like cosmetic stuff. You only get those two kinds ever.
or expand to the
Am I
game
wrong?
in any significant way. Since I had already been scammed by the developers into buying a falsely advertised game, it's safe to say that I practiced the ways of my own spirit animal, trying before buying. I played with cheat engine, setting the game speed to times 12, because for whatever reason, they made the DLCs as
I have a question. When are you making a review for Squirrel with a gun? When I shoot you with a gun. Sorry. No, I'm appreciative of you setting that game to me, but no intention of making a review.
grindy as the rest of the game. The first DLC is quite annoying. The Binding Blade is $10 for just two characters. You also don't get them with all of their abilities.
Oh my
so that's
God.
about 6
So you pay for them and you don't even get access to them. You have to like go grind it out. Jesus Christ.
hours of grinding minimum required before we actually get to explore them. On top of that, and get this, the second
And
character
the Crusader, like you had to do the grind and you had to do his quest as well. And also doing the quest meant that you would lose the quest item, which meant that you couldn't bypass boss trophies to enter the map. Oh man, it was such a trade-off. Jesus Christ.
Crusader, yes, they paywalled the Crusader from the first game, is locked. You have to complete a quest to unlock him, and once you unlock him, by the way, they again don't let you have him with all of his abilities. So again, you need to spend 6 hours minimum to unlock his abilities after the quest. But whatever, let's go do the quest. Let's check it out. Now, it's important to note that I came to this DLC after doing Kingdoms, so when I saw the quest item, I knew exactly.
So I saw a lot of criticisms about the DLC not being intuitive with the quest item mechanic and all that. And that's because, like, yeah, like if you came to this mechanic, if you experienced it, if the DLC's quest item was the first time you interact with a quest item mechanic, yeah, like you wouldn't try to read that much into the descriptions. But it's you know, there's a story trying to be told there, and the story is not very well told at all. It's actually pretty shit, but there's like an attempt, right? And there are things that connect to each other, and I was looking for that connection. So I was actually like landing the guess every time I made a guess. But yeah, like I came to it after playing Kingdom, so I knew about the quest item mechanic, and I knew that it could be absurd sometimes. Sadly, that's not, it happened in reverse for most people because the DLC came out first and then Kingdom second. For me, I played Kingdoms first.
Exactly what I needed to do. I'm mentioning this because when the DLC came out, Kingdoms wasn't a thing, so the mechanic of the quest items via the trophies was new and not well communicated by this point in the game. Usually with these quests, there's a bit of trial and error. You guess what it could possibly mean and try to pull through with it. But in this case, I happened to guess every step correctly in the first try, and I still couldn't complete.
So I apparently wasn't lucky enough to get like every single thing I needed to progress the quest in the same run. Because that is a thing. Oh, and also, when I ran to this reliquary, I actually just didn't know what to do with this because that description sucks. That description is horrible. I have no idea. When it said like requires tools to open, I was thinking, okay, I gotta pass by a shop or something. I gotta go to the hoarder. So that was not right. And when that didn't work out, I was like, okay, then it must be the inn. It just doesn't make any sense anyway. So I can only assume like the only sense is a checkpoint, and I was right with that. But this makes zero sense. You would not think that it would be the inn. There's nothing there that makes you think it is an inn.
The quest in one run. Fortunately, it saves your progress and the trophy doesn't expire.
Yeah,
so if you know what to expect, you can choose when to do it. By this point, I had reached the final step of the quest, which caused me to experience a dilemma. I can unlock the Crusader right.
The quest item is technically a trophy, which means that if you use it, you can bypass the entry requirement for the mountain. So you can just enter the mountain without having to do a boss by putting it on at the last moment. But if I never complete the quest, then I never unlock the Crusader. So which one is it?
Right now, but following the logic of Kingdoms, that would then consume the trophy most likely. And if I lose the trophy, I would no longer be able to
So this was a guess at this point of making the video, right? Because I don't know this. It's just a dilemma that I experienced because I know how it functions in Kingdoms. It will consume it. It will be gone. The quest will be complete and the quest item will no longer be yours. So again, this is like highly inquisitive, highly astute. Excuse me for patting myself on the back here, but I'm being very, very immersed into this. I'm making a lot of sense out of it. And I did a pretty good job, and I was very correct with this dilemma. But for the sake of experiencing the DLC, I decided to unlock it on my main save.
I passed the entry requirement to the mountain.
I wish I did not.
I was already more than 3 hours in, so the sunken cost fallacy got the better of me. I slapped the quest trophy on and went forward. Since this was my first try, I was caught off guard by the game. You're forced into a fight with a boss to unlock the Crusader. Once again, I first tried it, unlocking the Crusader, and
I fucked up the recording because I fucked up the recording settings. So when I booted up Apex to play with my friends in the middle of the recording, Apex just kind of like completely ruined the visuals and the audio because it was being recorded on top of the Darkest Dungeon 2 gameplay. So I kind of fucked up, and the whole visuals for it is gone, other than that like little bit at the intro there, which is so sad.
Yet the grind wasn't over yet. I had to now take him to 5 shrines and get about 50 candles to fully unlock him. If I didn't have any leftover candles, that's another 6 hours worth of work just to unlock a character you would have already paid for. I wanted to cut corners and try to finish as soon as possible, so I abandoned the run after finishing the quest and did a new one to start unlocking his abilities right away. 2 grindfests later, now for the review on the characters.
Yeah, I'm really glad I played it with Cheat Engine. Holy fuck. It would take way too long to
Jesus
My
Christ.
estimation of the characters are gonna depend on how well they can work with Plague Doctor.
For reference, the first game I played Cheat Engine on 2 times. I played Cheat Engine with Speed Hack on 2 times or 3 times. On Darkest Dungeon 2, I played it on 12 times. And I actually wanted to go higher, but above 12 times the game starts to break in a more unplayable fashion. So take that for what you will. They really fucked it up. They fucked up the pacing of the game.
And man-at-arms on the team. This is because the entire game is designed around those two, and as such, they are the best that the game has to offer. I'm not just saying this subjectively, I'm also saying this statistically. The Crusader is an awkward frontline character, capable of a lot of things but not good at any one of them, seemingly at his best when dancing.
Yeah, when I played with him, I feel like he never shined any better than like more the other characters. And like maybe he was at his best when using Holy Lance and being a support. That's about it though. He wasn't like an amazing character though.
With Holy Lance and used as a support. It's important.
His trinkets are very interesting. He has some interesting trinkets. I think that's it though. I didn't get to play around with them sadly. I never had them show up, if I remember correctly.
To note that after
Which is pretty sad. I was actually interested in them.
him, you now have an increased chance of running into a boss, specifically the Warlord, which passively
Yeah, and you can see a little bit of mention of the bottom left there. Footage of the Warlord fight is missing because I fucked up. Yeah, because I fucked up.
makes the game harder. You're also not
And I wasn't, like, by the way, to be clear, I tried to get footage of the Warlord before I said I fucked up because I was trying to fix it. It just like, you know, it just doesn't show up, man. I don't know. I gave it like a good 30 minutes of trying. And by the way, those 30 minutes, I was playing the game on 12x. So that was a lot of trying. And I was also using cheats to instantly win the fight. So I was doing a lot.
guaranteed good rewards from the fight.
And it just didn't show up. So I was like, okay, we're just going to say I fucked up. I don't want to put more time into this. All right. I could go into more meta reasons on why I'm like, hey, those two kind of aren't that great, but it's fine.
Two of the subclasses leave a bit more to be desired as they nerf him in some sort of significant way. As for the third,
Oh my god. So, okay. Banneret is not actually as bad as I say it is. It's just like, it's just a better default subclass from what I understand. It's just comedic. I still find it like really hilarious because the description says he has better reach, but he doesn't have better reach on like the most important ability of the entire ability set. I thought that was hilarious.
subclass, well, it was made using Red Hook's classic wacky-ass balancing philosophy.
And when I unlocked it, by the way, I thought it would have better, I thought it would have better reach on the important ability. Because remember, like back in the day, you did not get to see what abilities were affected when you were unlocking the subclass. I believe you still can't. But like this is just this is the reality. Is that sometimes all you have to go off of is the description within the boundaries of the game. And the description just wasn't accurate in this case.
Get this, the description says it gives him improved reach, but they forgot to give him the improved reach. Overall, I would bargain to say that not unlocking the character is actually better than having the character, because you can just keep using the trophy to bypass the entry
Look at this. I can't enter because I don't have a trophy on.
requirement for the mountain
I slap it on.
if you don't unlock him. On top of that, you wouldn't have an
And after I
increased
slap it on,
chance of
look at that. The warning, the restriction thing is gone. I can just click on it now.
running into a boss at
And boom, now I can access the final boss.
barricades. As for the duelist, well, she's similar to Grave Robber in
One part of, oh my god. Oh no, it's just coming back to me. It's just coming back. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, move forward.
so many ways. She's a dancing character with a riposte and various potent debuffs and buffs. She's mechanically complicated. being
Oh
the
my
first
god. There's so much to keep in mind for her. I kind of hated learning that. Jesus Christ.
character to use orange tokens
Like for some of those, look at that. For some of those abilities, I said too long to type. Like, Jesus Christ.
is more than just a buff in her kit.
Look
She's
at all that information for a singular character.
clearly inspired by the Wraith class.
It's Watcher. No, I said the wrong line. I said the wrong line. It's called the Watcher class. It's the Watcher class from Slay the Spire. It's inspired by the Watcher class from Slay the Spire because the Watcher class had 2 modes of operation.
very similar to the Duelist in Darkest Dungeon 2, except that the Watcher had significant boosts and differences and abilities that you can use. And you got like a consistent thing that happens every time you use something that synergizes with them. In Darkest Dungeon 2, it's like a 15% chance to do whatever. It's so stupid.
From Slay the Spire, having two different stances that alter the effect of some of the abilities. Learning her was definitely...
You have to memorize this shit. Because remember, you have to do a lot of forward thinking in this game, so you have to keep a lot of this in mind. Learning this was fucking bullshit, man. It really was.
annoying, and I could talk about her.
And I felt like when I did really good with her, I got like a slightly above average pay. I don't think it was that good. I felt like I was putting in way more effort for just a little, for like maybe like a 5% better at best. So remember, this is a low base HP character. This can absolutely enter Death Door on like 2 crits or something like that. And you have to do so much to make good use of her. Jesus Christ.
Her a bit, but I think the best way to tell you how I feel about her is to tell you how I feel about the game's heroes in general.
I think they're very black and white. You don't really get much in the way of in between with these guys. Either they make a difference in their turn, like their hit actually contributes to killing that enemy 1 turn earlier, or it doesn't. And I feel like there's a lot of heroes who have like just enough of a damage difference to not make the cut in that regard. Harmless, I have another question. Will you play Dinoblade? What the fuck is Dinoblade? If I look this up and it's porn, I'm gonna be so... What the fuck is this? Oh my god, it's a pterodactyl with a sword. This game looks great. It's planned to release 2026. Oh my fucking god. No fucking way. It's a dinosaur with a sword. You're fighting other dinosaurs with swords. It's a fucking... Oh my god. Is that a stamina bar? What is that? I see there's a mana bar. There's a health bar, a mana bar, and then what is... There's a white bar. I don't know what it is. And the HUD is different in some of the pictures. That's a little incompetent. One of them looks a little bit more modernized. One of them is a little bit more pixelated. What's going on there? And this dude needs to deck out his front page a little bit more. Come on, man. Show your pterodactyl some love. That's very interesting, though. I might. Yeah, it seems very interesting. It is Souls-like. God damn. Yeah, no. The 3 genres that it has, the 3 tags that it has, is action RPG, dinosaurs, and Souls-like. There's also other stuff, but those 3 are the most important. Yeah, it's on the wish list now. All right, move forward.
It's kind of a recurring issue with the heroes in the game that a lot of them are awkward with no ability to really move out of that awkwardness that they often find themselves in. Some characters are more capable at moving out of it, like Cultist and Highwayman.
Yeah, look at that. 17 damage. That's basically equivalent of like 3 hits or something. And he does that in two turns. It's actually crazy.
You never really have characters like Plague Doctor and Man-at-Arms that are consistently...
I try not to be that theoretical about it. I try to be like very simple with my conclusion. Because I think it is simple. I don't think there's much going on with this game.
Able to contribute meaningfully in every situation they get into, which is why I have nearly every...
Yeah, I just decided on like how I feel about them, which is like either they do something all the time, like they make an active, visible difference, or like they make a difference most of the time. Cultist is notorious for his crit 0 heal. Or they do no difference. They just do nothing. And Helion, her ability to hit rank 1 or rank 4 is pretty good, but like, rank 4 usually has a dodge, rank 1 usually has a block, so there are times where she just has to hit a block and then ends up not doing much or anything at all as a result of that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Maybe Duelist wasn't fair to put in there because I feel like I didn't give her the greatest chance, but that's kind of the fault of the developers for making her so mechanically complicated that you have to spend such an extended period of time to be like competent with her, and being competent with her doesn't seem to have that much better payoff, so I don't get it. I don't know. It went over my head, I guess. If it is like a really good character,
I at least couldn't find footage of people being that competent with her. She has some really good abilities. She has some really interesting stuff, but yeah, it all requires setup.
Character in the game on C tier. Duelist as a character feels painfully similar to Grave Robber, in that the kit itself is not bad, but the numbers are painfully low on average. She's capable of contributing in some scenarios, though she often requires a lot of forward thinking and a considerable amount of team setup for what feels like a slightly above average payback at its peak. And so, as you can imagine, she's not very easy to use. When I wanted her to do damage, she had an...
And like, let's not forget, being on low HP means negative relationship points with others. So, you know, being a low base HP character that isn't in the back, that spells doom. That spells doom. And on top of that, she also had riposte, and riposte was it's good, but like, she also has a low base HP and like not many consistent ways to get defensive stuff.
Do then. When I wanted her to stun, she had the ability. When I wanted her to dodge or riposte, she got the stuff for that too. But more often than not, I wasn't able to
It's like there's a lot of grayed out abilities when you're playing this character. It's so annoying.
do them. Usually because someone got pushed, blinded, or critted. Even the riposte didn't always make sense to use.
Lowest base health amongst all characters. Kinda crazy that they really gave her that amount of health. Jesus.
Because she has an extremely low health bar. She's dancing party material, but in all of my attempts, I couldn't
Also, like, yeah, in all of my time playing the game, I couldn't make dancing teams work. So,
really make dancing teams
I don't know.
work. Usually because the game revolved heavily around dealing damage quickly, especially for bosses, something that dancing teams often required setup and some luck to get. Her subclasses also explore
Oh
her
my
mechanically,
God.
adding even more
The descriptions are so bad. Okay, I'll explain it as I go.
complexity to her already complex management. In my experience, everything sucked except for Antagonist, which stood out with its debuffs, allowing for significant damage mitigation or big damage setup with characters.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look at that. I just added 2 weak tokens, 2 vuln tokens in the same fucking turn with this character. She does lose her stance token, which means she's gonna do like nothing for 1 turn. But you know, it is interesting. It's very interesting for her to be able to do that. That is a powerful, just like shut down plus setup ability. I liked it.
Like cultist. I should also mention that
Oh
the
my
descriptions
God.
of the subclasses are absolutely horrible. They give you the idea of what they
Oh my god! So I saw a video, not video. I saw a comment saying that I apparently messed up with the riposte token description. So here's what may have happened. I still don't actually know what actually happened to this day fully, but here's what I understood. So tokens inside the game, token descriptions, stay 100% consistent and they never change. Every token has the same description across every single character. Except this fucking bitch. She is the only character in the entire game to have tokens that change their description specifically in combat. So when you were reading the character descriptions, the subclass description, and it says like stance provides, does this, whatever, and you just don't have numbers, and I like had no numbers whatsoever. I was trying to like compare it in the character select screen because you can do that with everything else except this character. For whatever reason, this is the one character where like the description changes, but it changes. And get this, not in the UI, not in the character select screen. It doesn't change there. It doesn't change there. I checked. It doesn't change there. It changes when you're in a fight. When you get the token, when you physically get the token, you hover your mouse over it. That's when the new description shows up that tells you what it actually does. No, in no other part of the game is there any other token that functions like that. So for people to say that I'm wrong for following the established convention that the game has set forward for me. What the fuck? I'm in a kid. You're so lucky. I can't reach through the monitor. You're so lucky. I'm just following the patterns that the game has set out. I'm not wrong per se, as much as the game is, as I have already said a gazillion times, is simply not competent. When it comes to the transmission of information, it is not competent. It is not standard. It is not consistent with the way that it transmits information. And that's if it even transmits it at all? Why would I think to check the token if I believe that it's going to be the same description as every other token is in the entire game? Why would I think that, oh, when I change the subclass, it's going to show me something different when I hover over it? I never thought that, because nothing else works like that. And also, this is the second error that may have actually happened. Because again, I found out about this after I uninstalled the game. Is that I found out that you can, see the actual description by hovering over it when you're specifically in combat. Specifically, then, it doesn't change in the UI. I checked. It doesn't change in the UI. It's just when you're in the combat, because they fucked it up. But anyway, the other change is that I apparently checked the Wikipedias. I checked the Wikipedias for what the descriptions do, and this is what I had found, and I put it here in the video. But this might be the new description and not necessarily the one that I was experiencing at that time, because during the creation of the video, they did the whole, what's it called? Stuart Steadfast update, where they significantly changed what the characters do. So, it wasn't this good. On Killing Blow, you didn't get this back then. It was like some percent chance bullshit, I think. This, I think, stayed consistent. I don't fucking know. That's too much text. I cannot believe they put this shit in the game. That's also, this is like, these numbers don't make sense. 20% more damage, but you get 40% more damage on an already low base health character. Bro, come on.
Changes are supposed to do, but tell you nothing about what it actually does. Which in this game, more often than not, matters more than the idea of what something does. It's a repeated issue with the game. See Carcass for a glowing example. But specifically with in this game, more often than not, matters more than the idea of what something does.
I show so much. Oh, I show the independent. Oh, okay. So I showed the independent, the second independent fucking experiment that I did. So for General's Dream, I had a 14% drop rate, approximately. I think I rounded up all of them. So if you actually sum up the numbers, you'll get like over 100%. Let me just double check that. So 40 plus 48 plus 14, yeah, you get 102% chance. That's because I rounded up all the numbers. So we have an extra 2% going on here. Fuck, I'm okay. No, we're just
a repeated issue with the game. See Carcass for a glowing example.
Carcass!
Specifically with these subclasses, you can't find what the stance bonuses are without looking it up, because the in-game token descriptions stay exactly the same regardless of what subclass you use. I can only explain this by saying that they literally forgot to put the information in the game. Overall, maybe more on the bad side, I think. For her squishiness, I would hope for more damage output, but she works best as a setup for other characters with their debuffs. I should mention that I don't feel like I fully explored her due to her complexity. The DLC costs $10. It's not bad, just annoying with how much grinding you have to do for something that you would have already had paid for. Now, as big of a fan I am of money, I gotta say, the developers at Red Hook Studios keep finding new ways to milk people out of cash, because they paywalled another fan favorite, the Abomination, for $10. A single character this time around for $10. I'm gonna be real with you. This one to me sucked especially, because A-Bomb in the first game used to be my favorite character. I had the OG squad back in the day. It was the first squad that I ever put together that worked perfectly in every situation. Sajit, the healer with the gambling addiction. Nick Gurr, his birthday was every day. Nelly the nerfed, who kept getting nerfed, and Boudica, who can be seen jumping from one tree to another on Thursdays. It was the first time I started doing well in the first game, and the team would have some close calls that ultimately grew my attachment to them. And while I always knew that their time would eventually end, I never would have expected how it would happen. Not by the hands of some bad luck with a low-level mob, not by the hand of a mega boss, but by the hands of the developers themselves.
Will I gamble now? No!
The Abomination as a class was engineered to be overpowered, because to bring him would not only stress out the team, but it would also cause religious characters to outright refuse joining the party with.
The fuck does the A in the bald head mean, asshole? No, it means Abomination. Because, a bunch of religious people were like, hey,
We found you like over the body of a severely mauled cow. And then they take him in, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm really bad." And you're like, "Oh God, repent, repent, repent." And then he goes, "Oh," and then he breaks out. Yeah, weren't you supposed to let it roll and then go to bed? Well, sometimes things don't go to plan. What can I say? Yeah, after all, I am watching a Darkest Dungeon 2 video. That's like the equivalent of hell freezing over.
With him back in the day. And while that didn't matter for most of the characters it locked out,
I remember this.
it did lock out Vesta from the
I remember this.
party, which in the first game was a must-have on every team. Red Hook Studios, in their infinite wisdom, woke up one day, ate Caesar salad, and then stabbed the class 23 times. When asked what their intent was with the nerf, they replied with the following.
Biga Biga, our own tribal psychic, predicted that homos would be problem in the future. So we nerf and nerf until he never problem again. Miga Biga.
Yeah, that update specifically targeted me. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. They specifically didn't like me. It only makes sense. It only makes sense.
African game designer, Miga Biga, signing out.
They just randomly decided to walk back the entire philosophy of his design, nerfing him into being an awkward character and removing the religious limitation. So checking out a DLC where they re-released the character gave me a hint of nostalgia. I was actually excited to play as Nelly again, hopefully this time without the nerfs. Let's check him out.
You start with 2 abilities, man. It was so sad to see that.
What? What?
Only 2. They only gave him 2. Only gave him 2 abilities. Oh my God. 2 abilities. That's all they gave him. That's all they gave my boy.
I think I'm gonna cheat to get all abilities.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to just play with something that's completely dead weight on the...
I didn't start playing with him until I got the ability. Sorry, no, I did play with him. No, I tried. I actually gave it a try. And then I started cheating, because what the fuck? What 2 abilities? Are you serious, bro? What is this shit?
Party. Modal skill sets. That's one of his character descriptions.
Like, what does that description even mean? What does modal? Does any of you know what modal means? I know what it means specifically because I got it in Wordle. I was playing Wordle one day, and then I got it as one of the words that showed up. But at this point, when I knew what it meant, when I knew what modal skill set meant, I knew what modal skill set meant because I had played this character in the previous game. But I did not know what it means because of the meaning of the word itself. I don't know what modal means at the time, or I didn't know at the time playing it. Then I got it in Wordle.
I'm pretty sure they're just going out of their way to be unintuitive at this point. I think I know what they're referring to, not from the word itself. I have no idea what this means, but I know what it means because I played A-Bomb in the first game. Also, they say here flexible damage, but in classic Red Hook fashion, they forgot to give him
3
the
to 4
damage.
damage,
All right, I'll see what
bro.
I've done. Okay, by now I've done some good runs with all of the subclasses. The way the class works is that it has 2 skill sets, one for human mode and another for beast mode, though using beast mode comes at the cost of stressing out the character itself
Stress in one move. Oh!
and the party members. The default subclass, Moribund and Unchained, were all pretty bad and awkward.
Yeah.
Very rarely shined, so much so that I'm just gonna skip over them. Fiend is
Probably
where
for
the
the
beast
best. There wasn't much to go into there.
mode more
Fiend was
properly
interesting.
contributed in my opinion.
Yeah, Fiend started doing enough damage to justify what was happening with him.
Though using beast mode can stress you out pretty quick, so you had to be very calculated with how
But at the same time, it's just like, if you fail the check once, it's kinda just GG. Fuck. If you fail the lead pass, that's kinda like, yeah, damn. Bad luck, better luck next time.
you use it. The Abomination can also disrupt rank, but that doesn't mean much when nearly any enemy can use any ability from any position. It's easier to name the ones that can't than the ones that can.
rank
That
disruption
shouldn't be the case.
is
He's also
like-
pretty good at
Rank
self-healing.
disruption speeded up fights, but it doesn't really like, it took too many turns to make, or to do anything with it, sadly.
Easily the best self-healer in the entire game. 50% of his
Yeah,
health back
that ability was crazy. Half his health bar back in one click. That's nuts.
and -3 stress all in one click, but it can only be used twice in one fight. Overall, honestly, outside of the Fiend subclass, Beast Mode doesn't feel like Beast Mode. It's a character that only works with one specific subclass. They really missed the mark with this one. They learned from the community backlash of the first game. This time around, instead of waking up one day, eating Caesar salad, releasing the class, then nerfing it pretty hard, they instead woke up one day, ate Greek salad, nerfed the class into the ground, and then released it. There's also supposed to be a new mini area, but in 4 winning runs, which is about 12 hours of gameplay, I'm yet to see it. So if I paid for...
I couldn't find it. So here's footage of someone playing it. Because apparently it exists, I just couldn't run into it.
this DLC...
So the DLC, the way they justify the price is that the DLC adds 2 things, not necessarily 2 characters. So it adds a mini dungeon, or side area, mini area, but it's got like a really low chance of showing up. And the character, A-Bomb, for $10. So it's kind of fucked. I think it's still fucked because it's like a really rare encounter that they're adding. I don't know. I couldn't experience this. So like if I had bought it, I would have bought something that I couldn't experience. You know what I mean? It's kind of fucked.
I would have paid for content that I can't explore at will. The top review for the DLC at the time of recording...
Yeah, that was crazy. So at the time of recording, somewhere in March, that was the top DLC. It's just like someone begging them, please go back. What the fuck?
Begs the developers to go back to the gameplay loop of the first game. Now, about that spreadsheet...
I was supposed to put a soundtrack here. I forgot to do that. Maybe it's... and you know what? I think it's better. Probably not, but yeah.
In classic Hermos video fashion, the expected has unexpectedly happened. I wrote a script the size of a mountain and proceeded to throw away a script triple the size of that script. In other words, I won't be covering the spreadsheet here in this video. Instead, I've compiled my findings and thoughts for most things and summarized them in the spreadsheet itself, and you can find it in the description. I'm gonna be real with you. Halfway through editing the video, I realized I want to just move on. But the other part of me is like, hey, don't move on. There's still more to look into. Go on. You wanted to have a Socratic approach of critiquing things, didn't you? So go ahead, stare into the abyss, and find at the bottom of that hellhole, New Zealand.
I made this edit at 3 in the morning. And once again, it carried the curse of 3 in the morning. Because there's just this line at the top that stayed. And like whenever I paused the video, by the way, whenever I paused the video while watching this back, the line disappeared. So I thought like, okay, so when this renders, this problem is just gonna disappear. When the video was finally successfully rendered and exported, the line stayed. 3 in the morning is a fucked up time of the day, man. It really is.
Staring back at you. I realize it's quite a flawed way of doing such a deep dive and that you're probably pointing and laughing at this degree of neglect. But honestly, considering the subject matter of today's video, I think spiritually it's quite fitting. Just as Darkest Dungeon 2 doesn't have any dungeons, the spreadsheet section of the video doesn't go over the spreadsheet. I will, however, in here...
instead I put a bunch of text walls. You can go read it if you want.
Cover 2 things that I thought were too interesting to leave out, sort of as a final note. I read 3,000 reviews, but the raw number of all the critiques, except that one, seems to be on the lower end of quantity. Why is that the case? Look, the numbers are low, and if I'm being honest with you, initially I thought I was the crazy one. But after a sample test of 400 reviews, something more interesting became clear. In general, the overwhelming majority of Steam reviews aren't thorough about the game's mechanisms themselves, with the average number of details mentioned per review being just 1.8 details. That's 1 to 2 different details mentioned per review.
Those Discord sounds weren't you, that was me. I was gonna show like a lot more technical data behind like the theory, the execution, blah blah. Look, man, here's the coherent details, okay? You're probably not gonna get that deep into it anyway. Sorry. That's a little mean. That's mean. I shouldn't have been like that. I was burnt out. I'm sorry. I should be more competent with this stuff. Otherwise, what's the point of putting the lab coat, right? I mean, I'm putting in the hours. I may as well go the extra mile. Sorry. Right, yeah. There's the, important details. Or important statistics, I should say.
That's not even to mention that most people just say the detail without explaining why or how things connect. Most people say that the game is good or bad, sometimes comparing it to something relevant, then move on. So for the more niche criticisms to hit the double digits in the first place, I think that spells a lot about how much people wanted to like this game in the first place. That or how hard the developers fucked up the game. Second, and the main thing that I wanted to explain a bit more, initially for these three, I was just gonna be mad and call everyone stupid, but along the way, I found something much more interesting. You see, whenever a game comes out calling itself a sequel but ends up being too different to be a sequel, there tends to be two opinions that stand out the most. The first one details that the game...
So this is a further extension of me trying to, approach this on a more broader spectrum rather than just Darkest Dungeon 2. But the broader spectrum or the broader approach got completely, redacted from the video. So I tried to fit that opinion into this game by being like, hey, this, this is a thing that happens, but this is what I'm showing here now.
Should be judged for what it is.
What game do you plan on streaming next? So I'm gonna try doing something unique. The next game that I play is called Limbo of the Lost. It is a so bad, so good type of game, and I am looking forward to it so much. I've seen maybe 5 minutes of footage of it, and I just knew in my heart, this is the perfect game to play on the stream. And holy shit. I have no idea how the fuck is it gonna go, but I will at least test to see if it boots up properly and is recordable. See Mandalore play? Okay, yeah, I think I've seen a thumbnail of Mandalore checking it out after I've seen Vine Sauce for a couple seconds. It's keto? I don't know what that means. Is it the best game of all time? Tell me, Daddy. Tell me that right now. Tell me, Daddy. Is it the greatest? Or is it the cinema? Okay, that's all I need to hear, man. Don't say anymore.
Rather than what it is advertised as. And the other details that the game should be judged for what it thinks it is. You can essentially think of it as different degrees of objectivity. But frankly, both sides have a point. Marketing alone is an entire section of making games. There's many instances of a game doing well just because it was well known enough. And generally speaking, most people are willing to let go of the notion that this game should be similar to its predecessor, so long.
Yeah, a lot of people are willing to let go of that notion, because as you can see, a lot of positive reviews are saying, "Hey, this game is not DD1," and some of them think, "Hey, that's okay, that's not okay. I still like the game. Most people want it. If this is a different game, that's fine. But when you say that the game is a sequel, people are gonna come and expecting something similar. And if the game is still good, that's fine." People are still willing to let go of it, but this is still a mistake to call it a sequel.
As long as it is good enough on its own foot. But when a game calls itself a sequel in a subgenre that's all about encountering the unknown,
that's another thing. Is this is a game that wants you to approach it fresh. They mislabel it so much that you need extensive research to make a competent purchase with this. What's the point of marketing if you're not gonna market the game?
Turn out to be nothing similar to its predecessor and have quite a number of mechanics that don't mesh well with itself. At what point is it the buyer's fault for not doing enough research on a game that not only does a terrible job at conveying information in general, but also expects you to know nothing in the first place? Whether you like to go in knowing nothing and figuring things out on your own, or whether you play the game with a guide video open in the back, regardless of that, I think everyone can agree that calling it a sequel was a mistake. Too much is different, which makes it a spin-off and should have been advertised that way. I also think everyone agrees that it's pretty funny that they forgot to put in a dungeon in a game called The Darkest Dungeon, and that's why I have the dungeon crawler tag reported on it on Steam, because not only does it not have the premise of dungeons executed for the most part, but even in its atmosphere and narrative, there isn't any claustrophobia whatsoever. If the game...
So a friend pointed out to me, well, Derpins really, pointed out to me that the game refers to the mountain as the Darkest Dungeon, and very technically speaking, it is technically a dungeon because you enter it, so to speak. I don't know. I feel like there was a stretch there. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. You enter the mountain,
and the narrator calls it a dark dungeon. It's not a dungeon per se. You're kind of just entering a cave, but hey, you know, like I guess like very, very technically, very. If we're gonna stretch it a little bit, they do meet the technical definitions. I'm still gonna give them a 0 out of 10 though. That's fine. The game is called Darkest Dungeon. They don't have any dungeons in the Darkest Dungeon. I got scammed, man. My $25. Fuck.
Is attractive to you, don't feel bad.
I myself can get into it. And you know what? Like, if this game with its current flaws, if this is something that's interesting to you, go mad, go mad, go nuts, go enjoy the game. You know, there was an attempt for me to be fair towards the game here because I wanted you to know that, hey, if what I found to be bad here isn't something that you find to be bad, that's okay. Go have fun, man. You know, even I can get into like really shitty games occasionally. So I don't know. I forgot my train of thought. I'm trying to also do something here on the side because I gotta wrap. I gotta go to bed after this. I'm doing some homework. All right, shitty game every now and then that doesn't mesh well with itself. In fact, as of the editing of this video, I've downloaded malware and sunk more than 200 hours into it. I'm never gonna get those $25 back. But at the very least, I can still go back and play Darkest Dungeon 1.
Oh no! Oh no! I show it off! I show off the bug! No! And then the window closes. The loot window closes!
See what I did there? That's what I did there was called a joke.
No.
It's called a sarcasm. It's called a prank, you know? Kind of like the prank that Red Hook pulled on us when they released this DLC in the first place. What a bunch of As of the time of recording, we're now approaching 4 months since Red Hook pushed an update onto the game that breaks the Color of Madness DLC. The loot window in the Endless Mode mission instantly closes the moment it opens up, which for a DLC that's
By the way, they knew about this bug for 4 months. Oh man, they knew about it. They knew about it from the beginning, and like they just ignored it. It was acknowledged. It was an actually acknowledged bug that that was happening, and then they just like ignored it. It's so sad.
about the
That was also like the window of time where I wanted to play it too. So it was actually like it ruined my experience with it. I had half a mind to like go put a negative review about it. That was so sad.
loot from the loot window completely defeats the purpose of the entire.
I almost went to like redo my review, but I have this thing where like, hey, if I made a Steam review, and like even if it is disagreeable or not agreeable or whatever, if I made it at some point like back forever ago or whatever, that is something that I felt at some point, and I wrote it and I made it, and I'm not gonna go back to review that opinion. Even if it is a bad opinion or wrong opinion. I had a friend who like went through my Steam reviews. He was just like, what is this shit? What is this shit? I'm like, bro, I was like 12 years old when I made it. Get over it. Get over yourself. You know, what you think Einstein was solving math equations when he was a fucking toddler? No, bro. He was a fucking toddler. He was crying when he didn't get milk. Fucking leave me alone. Okay, sorry. All right. Let me get it together a little bit. If they change the game and break it, you have the right and obligation to update it. That's different from bad opinions. That sounds like a sound opinion, yeah. I have like this weird perspective on Steam reviews just because like it is something that was made during a certain period of time. And this was also like something that was like well reported as far as the Steam reviews go. It was very negative on Steam, so like people were well aware, hey, this DLC doesn't work anymore, sadly. And I don't think they deserve any grace. 4 months for a very simple bug problem. Pretty embarrassing. Pretty embarrassing. Really sad. And they knew about it. This is the important part, is they knew about it for that period of time, which is really, really, it is sad.
Entire DLC. It seems their thirst of ruining my fun didn't end with the Abomination nerf, because now they're going back and ruining parts of the game around the same time I decided to start playing it again. So if you want to play Darkest Dungeon, but you already played it and the sequel isn't actually a sequel, what now? If you can believe it, I actually haven't been that big on modding Darkest Dungeon.
I actually played this when I was away on holiday for a little bit. It's such an enjoyable little experience. I wish I found like a competent guide on it earlier, because like the competent guide that I found now is like made in Google Word, and it's like really horribly laid out. It is garbage laid out. Like the part where I say that there is no version of a guide for this mod with that like that isn't fucked with in some way, that is very true. That is very real. Every single guide you find about this is fucked with in some way. If it is a, you know, a correct guide, it's visually unappealing and very shit. Is that a femboy? Yes, that is a femboy.
I'd be doing this video a disservice if I didn't mention a particular...
Let's be real, man. I'm showing you a Darkest Dungeon mod. Do you know what Darkest Dungeon mods are like? Do you know what Darkest Dungeon mods are like? They're just, you know, like they follow a theme. Let's just say that much, you know, and they're very well known for... Almost, can you scroll up to my pasta? Let's see. Let's see. What if the number is reversed like the years in BC time and DD1 is in fact the sequel and the upgrade? What the fuck? Hormos is actually a linguistic genius. They have the ability. Thank you for, you know, properly using my pronouns here. They have the ability to discombobulate the untrained listener with information that seems like rage bait, fake news, LARP, slurs, and sincerity simultaneously. And when the confounded troglodyte responds to the genius, they have a finisher prepared to own them in the marketplace of free ideas. Look, man, I gotta go to sleep soon. I can't be reading shit like this, okay? This sounds complicated as hell. You know what my brain has in it right now? A cupcake spinning. It's just spinning. That's really all's going on there. I'm thinking of just like, hey, should I play like a little bit of Duck Off before I go to bed? But that's action. I don't want to play action before I go to bed. I want to play maybe nothing. I think I might just go to bed. We'll see.
Modded overhaul that has been a bad influence on my attention span recently. The Black Reliquary is available for free, provided you have...
To give you an idea of just how fucked with when it comes to information, the fucking store page for it says that it has an entire new campaign. It doesn't. There's no campaign currently. There's still no campaign currently. To the best of my... Let's go check right now. You know what? Let's go check right now. Let's go check right now. Let's see. Order out. Alright, last update was April 13. Yep. They're making mod tools for their modded game. Sorry, for their modded overhaul. So the mod's about to have mods. The mod is about to have mods. It's crazy. Mispronounces reliquary. Am I saying it wrong, really? Fuck. What flavor is the cupcake? I don't know, man. It's brown in my head. That's all. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, there's no campaign still.
The base game itself. I won't talk much about it because honestly, it's best you explore it for yourself. It's a pretty well made modded
really
overhaul.
Cool. It's honestly really cool.
It features a full campaign on,
and it's designed in a way where like you can actually experience it blind. Now I don't recommend it. I feel like once you experience the thing blind for the first time, go Google it, because you know there's a lot of weird interactions and the shop items are actually pretty expensive this time around. So you know, you can't really make bad purchases that much when it comes to the store. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's a lot going on with it, and I like it.
the store page. There isn't one yet, but there is 2 bosses in every region and 2 new classes to play with. It completely reimagines various sections of the game.
Yeah, one of the traps is straight up a boss.
There's honestly too much to mention. But
It's
for
fucking
example,
insane.
some abilities
So like scout chance is actually a really good thing in the treasury. Because holy shit.
replaced with different ones altogether. Even the combat
If you dismantle the boss trap, you just don't encounter him at all. But if you run into it, you can just fuck it. You fight him. Jesus Christ.
itself begins with a preparation.
Oh yeah, and the first round is called the preparation round, where there is a debuff where your accuracy is halved on prep round, and you also cannot crit on prep round. Sorry, I think also enemy is as well, but like some of their abilities count as prep round abilities, so they don't get the debuff.
Round where accuracy is halved to
This is really nice because like otherwise you don't usually use buffs in this in Darkest Dungeon in general. Like there's not a lot of strategies or places where it makes sense to use. So by having this like first round where you do use buffs, that is like it really makes for a lot of interesting setups. Not to mention like their own spin on buffs and debuffs as well, because they do make quite a spin on it, and I'm a fan. I like it. I like what they did.
Encourage the use of
Also, another important thing: you can't crit on round 1, so you can't just like get fucked on the start of the fight. That doesn't happen anymore,
buffs and debuffs.
which is really
it has
nice.
only one difficulty. and
I'm also like a fan of that change.
it assumes you're good at the base game, so be ready for trouble. All in all, it's really good. The new regions are well made and unique, each featuring some sort
Yeah, I used the anti-venom there, and look at the buffs I got. You see that shit? That's crazy.
of unique threat.
Look at that shit, man. Sorry. Yeah, no. No, those resist buffs are what I got. Is the protect also a part of that? Fuck, I don't remember. But yeah, look at those. That's what I got.
Or mechanic
God
like the
damn, that's
treasury,
sick.
which is my favorite region because I love money. It offers very little or no fights, but it does,
my favorite
however,
region.
offer many optional fights. And
if you use the alum sensor on the stuff you find, you get a buffed enemy as a result. But when you kill them, they drop things that debuff you, but they also sell and stack a lot. They sell for a lot as well. So if you're smart, you could do the treasury, man. All of the treasury.
done right, more difficult fights that reward you with highly valuable items that stack a lot. If you're confident and
Look
smart,
at that
this
dazzle
is a
screen.
pretty
I didn't even do that well that round. I just like, look at this. Oh,
good way to get
man.
rich. I should mention as well that since it's a Darkest Dungeon mod, technically speaking, it does also carry the curse of being a Darkest Dungeon mod, which of course means that there is a gazillion unexpected bananas and wahahas, if you know what I mean. I love the aesthetic and how the different regions work, and I also love how every guide of this overhaul is fucked with in some way. It's got its own flaws,
legit.
but it's
Holy
more of
shit.
a sequel than Darkest Dungeon 2 ever was to the first game. You also get a couple trinkets that
I love
boost
this
or
so
slow down
much.
XP gain. I'm actually a huge fan of this edition.
You know, you can mix and match your team like a lot more. I really like that. You could just like, hey, I'm gonna use my higher level guys with my lower level guys, but I don't want them to mismatch too much, so I'm gonna use this thing. Oh man, I love this so much.
This is all honestly
this should have been in the
And
vanilla.
a healthy reminder to me that no matter how much you like a core idea or concept, that doesn't mean the developers can't make tragically foolish mistakes. Combining Pepsi and Coca-Cola, then going on to advertise it as water too. And while I can respect the willingness to experiment with the formula that they had, experimenting
Being gas
shouldn't
stripper.
come as blind as it did in here. When they're trying to pass a dating sim as a Lovecraftian turn-based roguelike game, I then have to question the replayable value of putting the meat and bone of the game way beyond the refund threshold. That's terrible, but it's honestly also terribly inspiring. And so it is, in the same spirit that I tell you now, that future content is gonna make a lot less sense.
That's what I say. What a bunch of bitches. Honestly, what a bunch of bitches.
It's gonna be a lot less thorough, and it will contain more lies than the entirety of Darkest Dungeon 2's new arc. As a starting point for this, on the Patreon, you can now pay less for the same benefits.
Yeah, you could pay less now for the same stuff, because I'm just gonna become like unapologetic with my with how long it takes videos, or at least I was. Until the kahooting happened in the background. Wow. Even when I do the right thing, I do the wrong thing. I'm so impressive.
Mostly because the videos take too long to come out. And if you don't want to pay to join the Discord server, you can gamble your Twitch points for a chance at entering. And if you don't want to pay and don't have the time, there's still a simple, reliable way for you to enter. Find the Easter egg, and when you do, follow the instructions. The deadline is 1 week after the public release of this video on YouTube. There's also a second channel featuring
One guy found it, by the way, and I was actually very impressed at how easily he found it. And also a little bit embarrassed, because he found it very easily. He told me the method, and I was just like, damn. Really? Shit. Fuck. He found it that easy. Alright, it's been long enough. I think I can show it. Also, by the way, he literally said it on the Discord. He fucking said what the thing was. Like, moments within he joined the server, he fucking spoiled it. He spoiled it. He told it to everyone. And I was like, fuck, I didn't apply for this. What do I do now? Is it cancel? Or I decided, nah, it is what it is, and I'll leave it be. He gets to enjoy the role, and he gets to enjoy it as he wants. And I'm thinking of spoiling it right now. I'm thinking, do I show it, chat? Nah, I'm not gonna show it. But fuck, you wanna find it? You can still find it, but you're not gonna get the reward anymore. It's still there though. I never changed it. I never altered it. Are we sure? Really? All right. Let's keep watching for now.
An extremely different type of content, one that is more serious oriented if you can believe it.
Shut the fuck up! Thank you. I wish I had the original. The original was so fucking good.
Oh my god, another murder. And finally, for an entire month after this video comes out, I'll be streaming twice every week. So that's more chances for more points for more gambling. If, despite this video, you have found Darkest Dungeon 2 to be something worthwhile to look into and you don't want to get scammed like me, then consider the immediate superpower that each of us embodies. The ability to introduce into the equation my own spirit animal, the concept of piracy.
It's over. Yep. Is anyone even watching this part? Is anyone even still watching? Because this is a pretty big hint right here. This is a pretty big hint right here. Very big hint. Very big hint. Damn. One guy got it. We did it. We watched 2 hours in 2 weeks. React and there's only one stream per week since the video. No, there's been 2. There's been 1 this week. I'll do a fixed for that next week. I'll do an added one next week. But no, it's been good. All right. So you guys wanted to see it, right? You want to see the hint? You guys want to see Easter egg? He spoiled it, by the way. He fucking said it. He said it within moments of joining the fucking Discord. I was just like, bro, you spoiled that. And he deleted his message. Question, when are you gonna sleep? Preferably now. We'll see. I'll turn off stream, chill out for a bit, and we'll see how it goes. All right, here I am. I'm showing it. All right, ready? I'm not gonna show it for long. You better keep your eyes peeled. Put in the hours, bitch. You really want me to just show it to you like that? That guy worked for it. Well, not really. He actually sniped it pretty easily. And it's kind of embarrassing how quickly he got it. I'm gonna up my game next time. But really, you put in the time. It's still there. I showed you a pretty big hint too. Wow. None of you fucking caught it. I can't believe only one guy got it. He spoiled it too. He spoiled it. He fucking told people. What a goddamn narc. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it, man. He really he told everyone. You really thought I was gonna show it to you? Nah, man. Put in the time. Put in the hours. But in reality, it's a lot easier than you expect. Because he really just like, I'm up in my game, man. I can't believe how easily he found it. It was like not long. It was like not long as well after he got it. Unpause alerts, you coward. All right, fine, I'm doing it. All right, let's see what's going on. Oh, it's just broken. Okay, what happened then? So Durpins followed the stream. Thank you, Durpins, for following the stream for like the 700th time. And this okay, yeah, it's just broken. That's interesting. Damn. Is there a refresh function? Oh, it is. Okay, good. Please don't break. Next time you'll say that it's an Easter egg, but in fact it will be a Western egg. Nah, bro, it's there. It's there. I cannot believe. It really is that easy. It's that easy. It's there. All you gotta do. There was a nice hint. There was a pretty good hint there at the end of the video. If it's there, you should show it for proof. Yeah. Here you go. Fuck no, man. I gave you a pretty good hint. What the fuck you want, mother? Goddamn. Got you. I got you on camera. I got you on stream. It's gonna be in the VOD. I'm gonna put. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna point and laugh at you. You can't see it, but I'm pointing and laughing at you right now. Okay, this bit is not as funny as I thought it would be. Anyway. Wait, fuck. No, shit. I didn't even show it. Alright, here. Right, you can't see it, but I'm pointing and laughing at you now. Okay, no, this bit is not any funnier now that I did that. Alright, let's see. I have a serious question. Why? Can I do that? Can I do like a? Why is there no upgrade to the subscriber badge after 6 months? I don't know. I never expected anyone to get that far. Assuming I even have a thing that can let me do that. That's very interesting though. Maybe it's time. Alright, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for being here. I can't believe it. It's over. It's so over. And I believe I should be streaming tomorrow if everything goes well. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night. And go, hey, find the Easter egg is still there. I never removed it, man. It still works 100%. Oh, well, no, you're not going to get the reward. The reward's gone. It timed out. One guy got it. And he fucking spoiled it. I can't believe nobody sniped it. That's fucking crazy. That is actually